6 o'clock, good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Titans have traded edge rusher Draymond Jones to the Baltimore Ravens for a conditional 2026 fifth-round draft pick that could turn into a fourth-round pick in 2026. The fifth-round pick would come from the Jets, but if it turns into a fourth, it would be from the Ravens. Jones, in his lone season for the Titans, accumulated 4.5 sacks, all coming in the last 4 games. The NFL trade deadline is today at 3 p.m. Central. Week 9 of the NFL season wrapped up last night with the Cardinals beating the Cowboys 27-17 and ends a 5-game losing streak. Quarterback Jacoby Brissett, in place of Kyler Murray, threw for 261 yards and 2 touchdowns, also rushing for a score as well. Marvin Harrison Jr. caught 7 passes for 96 yards and a touchdown in the win. To the ice where the Nashville Predators fall to the Vancouver Canucks at home 5-4 in overtime last night. Philip Forsberg with his 6th goal of the season and added an assist as well. The Predators back on the ice tonight in Minnesota as they take on the Wild. Puck drop at 7 o'clock. And Tennessee Vols basketball opened their season off with a 76-61 win over Mercer last night. Freshman forward Nate Ament had a game-high 18 points and also added 10 rebounds, completing a double-double. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Tuesday morning starts right now on 104.5 The Zone with Ramona Will, fueled by Scooter's Coffee. Good morning on another cold Tuesday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. It's NFL trade deadline day. 3 p.m. today, moves have got to be done, and last night the move started. Are there any more? Well, we're going to play a game of Deal or No Deal, and no, Howie Mandel will not be making his way into the studio. There'll be no briefcases. There'll be no banker. Only hypothetical trades and Ramon telling you deal or no deal.
I like it.
That's coming up at 7:20 this morning. VolQuest's Austin Price hitting the Vols headlines in the bye week at 8:20. Easton Freeze of A to Z Sports joins us in hour number 4. Your phone calls throughout the morning at 615-737-1045 on this Tuesday, November the 4th, NFL trade deadline day. Ramon Foster, you could feel the anticipation in the air like the fog that was wafting around the area. Yeah, I just brought out wafting before 6:05. What's going on?
You did. Yes, you did. Good morning, man. The fog is serious, though. Y'all be safe. I think a lot of the kids are out of school today, too, and some school systems are, too, because of voting. Yeah.
That's right.
Midterm voting is going on today also. My youngest, I had no idea, went to middle school basketball tipped off last night, too, if you were wondering, Will, if you wanted to be in the know.
I love being in the know about the things that are going on in the middle school world.
Middle school basketball.
Any other trends that have started recently that I'm not aware of?
What's that?
No, I'm asking.
Oh, no. Any other trends? No, I think parents, by the way, which you're not one.
Nope.
Parents are trying to kill off whatever 6-7 is. Okay. I do know that's a thing, too, by using it themselves. I had a lady this weekend, I was telling you before we came in, this was my first time, maybe my second time, going to Circle Park. That's where the University of Tennessee, behind the torchbearer, has all their tents for tailgating. I've never really gone over there, ever. I've gone to the VFL one that's like right in the parking lot, but I've never navigated inside of Circle Park like that. I told you I've never really tailgated like that, and I had a blast. I had a fun time is what I'm telling you. Seeing a lot of people, met some folks I've never seen before. I saw the Aguilars over there. I saw Kate Mays over there. It was nice. It was a great time. A little muddy, but it was a great time over there. And then Ron and I ran into a lady that knew our grandmother back in Covington, Tennessee, knows our grandmother in Covington, Tennessee. And she was like, I just had my birthday. I'm 67 years old. You know what I did? I looked at Savage. Savage looked at me, and we both went 6'7". Okay. Yeah. And she started doing it, and she had no idea.
See, but I wanted to know new trends. I don't need to know any. I don't know. I know that
one is we're trying to kill it all.
Okay. that works.
We're trying to kill it off.
Well, the Tennessee Titans are making some moves.
I thut you were going to say trying to kill it off.
No, that felt a little too morbid. I walked up to it, but did not walk on.
You thought about it.
Yep. Nope. Not going to do that. But they did go ahead and trade Draymond Jones last night. Baltimore Ravens acquiring edge rusher Draymond Jones from the Tennessee Titans in exchange for a conditional 5th-round pick, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. So Baltimore is sending the Jets 2026 5th to the Titans in this deal. The Titans now have the Jets. It's kind of funny. They have the Jets' 5th-round pick from Baltimore, and they have Baltimore's 6th-round pick from the Jets for the Jarvis Brownlee trade.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Well,
there are conditions where this becomes a Ravens 4th-round pick. There's some speculation on Twitter last night that that condition could just be if they are awarded a compensatory pick, the Titans would get that, meaning that they're not going to move up much if it's a 2026 4th-round pick. And the beauty of it is the Jets are so bad that the 2026 5th they will get from New York will probably be at the top of the 5th round. What was your initial reaction, Ramon, seeing this move happen yesterday?
Saying you got Draymond Jones for a 5th, I was pleased. I was like, okay, now that's moving in the right direction is what I was thinking. Is a guy that's on an expiring contract, you just signed him this year, you have no real use for him. I'm also this part of it too, and I know nobody cares about it, but I'm also for guys who have something in the tank and can go somewhere else doing that in those moments. That's the way I felt Draymond was also. I actually thought he was auditioning the entire, just about 4 or 5 weeks as of late. He's been somewhat on a tear, man, especially like the last couple of weeks. Get something when you know there's not much in front of you right now. I liked this one for once. I was like, okay, now we're moving closer to the front of the draft.
4-game sack streak, 4.5 sacks in those 4 games. I think that he earned an additional round for you, or even just earned you the ability to not have to swap picks with the way that he's played the last month. Draymond Jones has 19 quarterback pressures, are 7 more than anyone on the Ravens, which is pretty impressive when you think about it. He is, again, a 4-game sack streak. I think you like it for the front office, and you feel bad for Denard Wilson.
I didn't even consider Denard.
Because this is a good trade for the front office. I think it's a really good return for a player that, let's face it, Ramon, a month ago was not giving you anything in the pass rush in terms of productivity. Said he'd just been grinding in the film room. Said that he, over the last month has kind of locked in a little bit. And I think it's a really good move. So, again, 2026 5th-round pick from the New York Jets that could become the Ravens' 4th-round pick on conditions that we are not familiar with, though. But, again, if that's just the Ravens' 2026 4th-round compensatory pick, and that's the condition, you would not be moving up really much at all. If conditions were met. So we're talking about either a late 4th or an early 5th. The most you can move up is maybe a half a round.
Okay.
When this thing's all said and done. So you ready for all the picks the Titans have? It took me so long to put this together last night. I did a lot of reading. I was confused on one part of this, but now I think it makes sense. So are you ready for this?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Oh, let me get my notepad out real quick.
The Tennessee Titans entering NFL trade deadline day have the following picks. They have their own 1st-round pick. They have their own 2nd-round pick. They have their own 3rd-round pick, which is the first time in 2 years that they have their own 3rd-round pick at this point.
This is true.
They also have their own 4th-round pick. The Titans have their own 5th-round pick, which was returned to them from the Los Angeles Rams in the Roger McCreary deal. They also have the Jets' 5th from the Ravens that could become a 4th. That was earned yesterday in the Draymond Jones trade. They have technically 3 6th-round picks, but the worst of the 3 is going to the Rams in the Roger McCreary trade when the dust settles. So that was the condition on the Roger McCreary trade. Of those 6th-round picks, they have the Ravens, which was the Brownlee deal via the Jets, the Rams, the conditional pick, which they got when they originally traded for Ernest Jones, and then they have a 7. There you go.
All right.
That is the Titans 2025 draft picks. They also have their own 6th, obviously. Any
so
questions?
11 picks right now. They got 11 picks as it stands.
Right now they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10.
That's 10. Okay.
Because one of those 6s is going to the Rams
back.
for McCreary.
Yes, okay.
Right now, you just don't know which one.
Okay.
So, I mean, technically, they do just have 10, but one of them, we don't know which one is going to LA.
Absolutely. Okay, gotcha. That's a lot of swings for a 7 round. The one thing that you need or had to have was the first 3. No, the first 4. The first 4 picks, man, the first 4 rounds is, I still think, a premium. What is that, about 120 picks right there? I know they wanted the top 100 or whatever that number is. I do look at the first 4 rounds of the drafts as a high-end talent group of it. I always have. I always said if you was one of those guys, heck, even the 5th rounders get a stab at it as far as a guarantee on making the team. It's just this is going to have to be the pathway moving forward, though, too. I do wonder if there's another trade left, but at this point, I would say get ready to see a lot of Truman Jones, probably, as somebody that's going to have to play. That's a lot of games for Denard Wilson to adjust his defense, I will say, with some guys that have a little bit of inexperience. It's going to be fascinating, especially when you have Jalen Harrell getting ran over by Justin Herbert this past weekend, too. Now, I get it. He's a quarterback. People are hesitant to hit quarterbacks. Quarterbacks are also – they're line stepping at a bad rate right now. And somebody's going to clean one of them up, and it's going to be because of their own undoing. They are riding the sideline or acting as if they're going to slide or not take a hit, and then they are starting to hit defenders. That's not okay, is what I would tell you. Now, in those moments, they are football players. But Denard and his defense are going to have a challenge moving forward, though.
615-737-1045 is our number as we stream the show live for the 1045 The Zone Circus Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. That video stream is Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. You will want to be locked in throughout the show because things could break during the show today. NFL trade deadline deals have got to be done by 3 o'clock. We will see what happens as we go. And as the entire day goes, you want to be locked in on the Zone throughout the day and react to all of it at the end of the day with 3HL. But coming up, a former Tennessee quarterback compared James Franklin and Josh Heupel. I've got 2 follow-up questions to that comparison. Is that fair? And is it a bad thing? That's next.
We are really lucky to have Genesis Diamonds here. In a sea of corporate jewelers, Genesis is such a refreshing alternative, man. They can always keep you ahead of the pack, too. They have bigger selections, new and trending styles, more price and flexibility, stronger warranties, higher quality standards. And as we head into the holiday season, Genesis is fully stocked. Case after case of dazzling jewelry. They have rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, colored gemstone jewelry, luxury pre-owned Rolex watches, all at a guaranteed best value price. And best part of it all, no commission salespeople. So there's never any pressure ever at Genesis. And if you're thinking about a holiday engagement, let me tell you, now is the time to get into Genesis and let the experts create the ring of her dreams. They got all the top ring designers. They've got diamonds in every shape and every size, natural and lab grown. I'm telling you, Genesis is a breath of fresh air. They're locally owned but internationally connected. They have the buying power to guarantee the best value while never sacrificing on good old-fashioned customer care. You will never be treated like a number at Genesis. Genesis Diamonds, my jeweler. They're located in Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Hey, it's Will Bowling. Is your home's heating system ready for the cold weather of winter? Unfortunately, you got your answer this week, and if you haven't yet, make sure that you don't wake up frigid because the house, the heating system, it feels more like outside than inside. Well, available 24/7, Lee Company is here to help. With the turn of the season officially here, Lee Company's professional team of technicians are now performing heating tune-ups and seasonal maintenance to keep your home running efficiently this fall and winter. Contact Lee Company's award-winning team at leecompany.com to keep your home cozy for the cold months ahead. That's leecompany.com for all of your heating needs for the folks who have been trusted for over 80 years here in Middle Tennessee. Lee Company is a staple in this area. You see their fleet of vehicles driving around, and you know that when you call Lead Company, when you go online and you schedule that appointment, they're going to be there fast, and they're going to get things done the right way. Head online to leadcompany.com for all of your heating needs. That's Lead Company, all you need. So we love doing this thing in sports when we make comparisons based off of recency bias that just aren't comparisons.
Yeah.
Two things that can't be compared. Ramona Will, fueled by Scooter's Coffee, a 104.5 The Zone. You can't compare anything to Scooter's Coffee because it's the best way to start your morning. Cinnamon rolls, protein smoothies. You've got so many ways to caffeinate yourself and enjoy it as well. Stop by and see them. Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. So former Tennessee quarterback Jonathan Crompton on the Big Orange podcast with our friends at A to Z Sports says that I'm not the one to call for a coach to get fired. That's not my thing. What I'm saying is I do think Josh Heupel is our James Franklin. He's going to win us 9 to 10 ball games a year. The odd year we'll get 11, and that's about our ceiling. Former Vols quarterback Jonathan Crompton on the Big Orange podcast postgame show. I've got two questions, and I'm not even trying to single out Crompton here. I think Crompton does a good job on that show. Crompton has done a good job in the post-football media world, and I've seen this comparison from a lot of people. So I think it's worth addressing, and you had thoughts about this that took to the Twitter streets that a lot of people responded to and liked, so I wanted to give you the platform to bring those comments on air. Let's start with this, Ramon. Before we talk about whether or not that's even a good thing or a bad thing, being compared to James Franklin, let's start with this. Is that a fair comparison to compare Josh Heupel to James Franklin?
Is that a fair comparison? I think the timing of that comparison, I think it's kind of bad. That's why I think the uproar has started from that conversation of that particular comment right there. The timing of that reference, that one-to-one model reference of James Franklin to Josh Heupel, considering also the loss to Oklahoma this past weekend, timing was just off. That's what I would say. With the comparison of what he is, I will say this. I can understand why that one makes sense to him, considering the situations that James Franklin was in. But there's so much more context I think should be given around what James Franklin was at Penn State versus what Josh Heupel is at Tennessee currently, is where I'm at. I look at what the Big Ten scheduling is. Probably, I know Big Ten people hate this stuff, but screw it. It's easier than what you have to deal with in the SEC.
Yeah.
So if you're telling me that he's a one-on-one comparison, I don't think that one's fair because the circumstances are totally different. And his timing was just off on making that comment to what that coach is also.
Real quick, we will do this from time to time this morning during the NFL trade deadline when deals happen. No matter what we're talking about, we'll tell you what the deal is. The Cowboys are finalizing a trade to acquire Bengals inside linebacker Logan Wilson.
What?
Some breaking NFL news there.
That's actually solid right there.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Bengals have been looking for a 6th-round pick for Logan Wilson. No details on the return quite yet, but we'll let you know when we get it. Here's my thing on the James Franklin comparison. It's an awful comparison. James Franklin had 12 years. He went 104-45. 104.5 The Zone almost, if that was our record. He won 11-plus games 4 times and 13 games in 2024. He had 12 years to build Penn State into something more. And the year that he was given the most resources he has ever had, he failed. This year, 2025. Jim Knowles, the defensive coordinator of the national championship winning Ohio State Buckeyes. Andy Kotelnicki, who is an up-and-coming mind in on the offensive side of the football. James Franklin also got fired when he stopped being James Franklin. Because James Franklin would always win as a touchdown or double-digit favorite. And he wasn't fired after last year when he got them to the dance and got them close but not over the hump. That's the thing I think people are missing with all of this. We are picking a bad time to compare anyone to James Franklin. Because if you're going to compare Josh Heupel to James Franklin, I think the only way you can is say, all right, he's maybe 2020 to 2024. Mm-hmm. But you can't include 2025 in that. I think comparing Heupel to James Franklin is insinuating that, and then one day he's just going to lose to all these teams and go 6-6 and then it's over, right? Any given moment, the shoe can drop. Well, that's not really who James Franklin was either until the very, 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 very end. The thing about this, and this is the other part, James Franklin was not a tactics guy. James Franklin was a CEO coach. not a tactician. When he was given 2 elite coordinators, he went 3-3. That's not 9 to 10 games a year and 11 every now and then. That's massively underachieving. And Josh Heupel has shown us so far through 5 years that floor does not exist for his program at the University of Tennessee as he has built them up. The other thing is, it's hard to compare anyone 5 years in to someone at 12 years.
Yeah.
And I get that Crompton is kind of projecting this a little bit, saying, hey, long term, this is all we're going to be. I think that's a disservice to the obstacles Josh Heupel had to build Tennessee into what it is, considering you have the SEC versus the Big Ten schedule to deal with that you pointed out correctly. Oh. And two, you have to judge the NCAA sanctions as a part of this.
Yeah.
And the fact that Josh Heupel had Tennessee in an Orange Bowl in year 2, considering how many recruiting restrictions were around this program, that has to be part of this.
It does. And it happened early and it happened often. Like my thing about the comments were this. One, if you got a comment on this one, it's got over 500,000 more of impressions on it for whatever that's worth. And it's a lot of engagement on this comment is what I'm telling you guys. So if that's a fair comparison to y'all, I want to hear how I'm wrong on this one or how it differs from your opinion right there too. But my comment, if you didn't see it, is I'm confused. What's wrong with 9 to 11 wins a year? Especially moving forward in 2026.
So that's my next question is if Josh Heupel even is James Franklin, is that really that bad of a thing?
It's not a bad thing. No, it's not. But the way you say it as if it's not good enough was puzzling to me. And my whole point of it was I thought it was dumb to say it in that type of comparison. And I thought for guys that have voices in this sports media world who are also VFLs, who I think we don't always agree with the University of Tennessee. I don't always agree with Josh Heupel. It's sometimes I have to hold.
We were very critical yesterday about a number of things that he did. Yeah.
And have to bite my tongue on some of the things that I see in the game or the results of the game. Josh Heupel is not perfect at all. I'll tell you this before I even move forward. I think he needs to self-evaluate the entire offense. I think there needs to be a set of eyes on how do you beat this 3-safety look that Ohio State has set up.
And the late shifts that teams are making into the box as you snap the ball.
And the Oklahomas of the world have kind of put him in a box, even though he beat Oklahoma last year. That's the other thing. Like, he's 1-1 against his squad also, right? But I feel as if saying like he's going to win us 9 to 10 ball games a year, the odd year we'll get 11, and that's about our ceiling. If the Tennessee Vols are getting 11 wins in one season, 9 of them with a non-SEC schedule, I think you're cooking. I think the realization of what you are as a program is solid. 9 to 11 wins to me keeps you relevant. It keeps you in the top 25. It keeps the expectation that, look, we're going to continue to chase this national championship. And I felt like that comment of that's just about our ceiling kind of deflated the entire movement in which Josh Heupel and his staff have. Albeit, again, I'll say not perfect at all. Is not even perfect at all. I know people on his time management. I know people on his decision making. I didn't like the fourth down play against Oklahoma this past weekend. I didn't like the goal line play against Alabama also. But this is his biggest job. James Franklin at least turned Vanderbilt around before going up there. Now I'll admit this too. Penn State was a crap show also. They had the allegations that he had to go clean up too. So he did a real good job of changing that around. But to say that that's not good enough or that's just your ceiling, I thought was kind of flagrant with the voice that he has. It's almost as if, okay, this isn't good enough. Let's go ahead and start finding our next guy. It set to me a mindset into the fans that are watching him of the perception of what he was of, you might as well go find a better replacement right now. That's the way I took it. I was just like, do we have an answer for the guy that's going to get you 12-0?
Right, because not even Penn State was doing that.
No.
Penn State waited for James Franklin to massively fail to fire him. James Franklin was not getting fired for being a 9 to 10 wins and the odd 11 coach, because that was 2024 Penn State. They won 11 games. They won a couple in the postseason, and they got themselves one step away from the national championship game. Here's the thing. How many 10-win teams in the last 20 years of college football could have been Ohio State? Ohio State had the luxury of being the first one. But, Ramon, to your point, being a James Franklin kind of program in the 12-team playoff era where 10 wins is going to get you into the postseason 9 times out of 10 in the SEC is not a bad thing at all. So James Franklin had his teams ranked in the top 11 because, again, with the way it's currently set up, you got to be a top 11 ranked team considering the 1G5 spot in the playoff. His teams were ranked in the top 11 5 times in 12 years. He would have had 5 playoff trips in 12 years, including last year, where he was in the college football playoff. He would have had 5 12-team playoff teams in 12 seasons. That is giving yourself a chance in the tournament pretty much every other year that you were a coach over the course of a decade. Sign me up.
Sign me up.
It can get so much worse. The other question is, have we really rewired our brains? Shout out Will Levis. Have we rewired our brains to understand that good teams can become great in November and December and January and have more time to reinvent themselves? Ohio State was a 10-win team. Can you imagine, and if last year was still a 4-team playoff season, the amount of pressure that Ryan Day would be under right now? How would people view this Ohio State team right now, undefeated, skating through a mid-schedule? Because that's what you get in the Big Ten, is a mid-schedule.
Yeah.
How would we view that team if they'd ended last season when they lost to Michigan, gone to the Capital One Bowl, whatever that's called now, or the Rose Bowl, beaten up on a bad Pac-12 team? Well, that doesn't even exist anymore. Again, it's hard to even make the comparison.
Right.
Imagine if last season Ohio State loses to Michigan, misses the 14 playoff, and ends 11-2. You know what we're saying about Ryan Day right now?
What's that?
Yeah, who cares that they're 7-0 or 8-0 because they still can't beat Michigan. Ryan Day still can't win the big one. You got to put yourself in enough big ones in order to give yourself as many chances as possible to win them. The problem is James Franklin kind of forgot how to do this right as soon as the sport was set up for him to win more big ones. And that sucks for him. But that's not the position Tennessee's in. So let's not project that on a program that lost its quarterback in the middle of spring when people are taking final exams and put themselves in November in a position to make the college football playoff. They didn't get there. But did any of us really have that expectation entering the season? No.
This is at 3 to 4 losses. Like if you go 10-0, so that's what's more like polarizing about like that comment. 10 wins for most teams get you into the show. Vanderbilt's clawing right now for what number, Will? 10.
10 wins, yeah.
10. And that's what was just like, so is that not good enough? That was my question. And also, too, it's this side of it, too. Like, these narratives that are being, publicized is the problematic to reality to me. Like, I'm seeing one now, and it may be truth to it, but ever since Alex Golesh left, Heupel's lost his bag. Alex Golesh wasn't there last year. Heupel won 10 games and made it to a college football playoff.
Yeah, right. The Golesh thing is totally overblown. Totally
I do think there's probably a portion of Coach Heupel and his staff that needs a Turk, a bad guy, somebody that's going to, I'll throw it out there. Boo Carter, you don't want to do this thing? All right, peace. You don't want to do this?
Boo Carter, who had 0 defensive snaps on Saturday
Peace.
against Oklahoma. Best the defense has looked all season.
I will say I think there's a –
I'm serious.
I do. I know what you mean. But, I look at those type of scenarios and situations to where I feel like the Vols got to build this thing up good enough to where you're not handcuffed by those type of decisions.
Right.
The guys that you have play like – and I think it's almost unfair. I don't know how Ryan Day is running his. We don't cover the Big Ten like that. But I do look at the way Kirby Smart is running his, and I say, either you're with us or you're not. And I do think there's a portion of Josh Heupel and his staff that got to get to that point. And they did this past spring with the Nico Iamaleava situation. It's just that you had another one that happened over summer with a guy that you felt like you needed. If that makes him a bad coach, all right, fine. We'll figure this thing out. Every coach that I know is tiptoeing around the NIL era, the transfer portal market, because they're trying to keep as much talent as they can. Tennessee right now has the highest volume of freshmen playing of any SEC school right now. It's that side of it too, and you're still productive.
That may also help them in long term be better next season, to be quite honest with you. Like, again, to your point, they're kind of paying for some of the gambles they made putting young players on the field in 2025. But do you reap those rewards in 2026? I want to get Austin Stanley in here because he did send us a text. And again, the whole framework of this is I don't want to make this about Jonathan Crompton's comment. I've seen this comment everywhere. Crompton made the comparison, and I figured that Fox Sports Knoxville on social media was probably taking this out of context because there wasn't a whole lot of words that they quoted. Austin could provide more details to that. What's up, Austin? Good morning.
Hey, guys. Sorry, I got to be a little quiet in the house this morning. But, yes, this is completely engagement baiting from Fox Sports Knoxville, who has blocked our Big Orange podcast account in the first place and taken us out of context. So I do want to clear this up because on the live post-game show, when there's a full feed of comments that are coming in after a loss to Oklahoma that you guys are well aware of, people calling for the coach's job, and Crompton says, I'm not calling for anybody's job. That's not my thing.
Right.
I don't think he should be fired at all, but I think he could be our James Franklin. He's talking about the whole helping the program out of the dumpster both ways. Penn State from the Sandusky carryover and all of those recruiting limitations and all the violations that they dealt with, and the same thing that Heupel was doing here, getting them to a high floor and a very high ceiling, but not the ceiling to the top. And he wasn't saying he should be fired. He wasn't. He was projecting about making this program and keeping it relevant for a long time, but maybe having some growing frustration down the road when it can't get to that very top point. And we've seen that all across college football. So that's all it was. And it's just being completely blown out of proportion.
That's fair. Thank you, Austin. Good stuff.
See you guys.
All right. Austin Stanley, A to Z
Austin
Sports.
Stanley. Thanks for the call.
I figured that was the case, because I kind of know the way Fox Sports Knoxville runs their social media, so that didn't surprise me. And that's why, again, I wanted to frame this at the beginning that I'm not trying to make this a dunk on Jonathan Crompton moment. I've seen that this take from a lot of other people, and I figured that he probably, Jonathan's a smart guy, wasn't making the implication that, he should be fired. Like, that's a completely ridiculous thing to say. I wanted to address that because I've seen it on social media from fans, not from Crompton.
But that comment is thank you, Austin, for the call. And Austin and I have talked too, but the comment is very suggestive, though.
Well, I mean, look, if you're making the comparison because both coaches brought teams out of bad NCAA/rules trouble and scholarship restriction situations, that's the area where I think comparison is fair. And if that's what Crompton was getting at, then that part of it I'm willing to hear. I'm more talking about what the overall statement represents in the context of Tennessee as a program and their place in college football. And the fact that hiring a James Franklin in today's day and age is not the worst way to live if you're Tennessee, if you're LSU, if you're Auburn, if you're anybody. Hiring that kind of coach that just gets you consistently in the dance. That's the point I'm making.
Well, hopefully these comments in the comparison, because I'm more than sure somebody in that facility has gotten this comment and probably have heard it and probably read it and probably feel critiqued by it also inside of the UT complex. Maybe this changes his pathway as a coach moving forward too, and as a staff. There's a lot to be had when it comes down to the yearly evolution of what your team is, now what these contracts are, and what your philosophies are as a coach. The smart ones, I would say Nick Saban, right, figured out that he needed Lane Kiffin. At some point, like I said, I don't love everything about what Heupel's doing as far as the games and how the offense goes at times. Or I've been huge as of lately of spending so much more money on defense. Mm-hmm. They're like, maybe this conversation, because they hear, is something that helps change which highway they're going to take going to 26, 27, and 28.
And I think, too, nobody has really mastered the roster gymnastics and arithmetic of putting together the right kind of roster, unless you just have more money than everyone else.
Unless you tried it.
Like, Ohio State has just got more to spend than anyone. So, of course, they got it right? It's also Ohio State. You're selling one of the premier programs, if not the premier program outside of Alabama in the history of college football. But no one has quite found that exact formula between quarterback, premium positions, and depth, right?
Right.
Like, what did we see Auburn do this offseason? Auburn built a pretty good roster. They got quarterback really wrong. All right, so to that point, is it Tennessee's best pathway to build a really good defense and roster, but then take a risk at a quarterback with red flags? Because then if that guy isn't good, then what you got? But on the flip side, you have programs, and I know this program's looking a lot better now, like Duke, who got Darian Mensah, who got the guy at quarterback. And then everything else is kind of like, ooh,
yeah,
not great. But now they're looking a lot better. So maybe that was the right pathway. We just don't know. We've not been doing this long enough in the rev share era and in the NIL era to know definitively the right formula to put together all of these things. Adaptability and a university's ability to surround their coach with resources to be successful, that's what matters in college football today. I think Tennessee definitely has the resources. To your point, the question is, how much is Josh Heupel willing to adapt? Because in the changing dynamic of college sports, you got to be able to right now, more so than ever.
What's wild, too, before we go is Ryan Day's last time on beating Michigan was in 2019. He's won a national championship, and it still isn't good enough to beat the team up north, as they like to call it. Heupel in the last 4 has beaten Bama twice, gotten Florida also. Georgia's the one. Georgia's the
boogeyman, for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But, like, Vols fans, I'm looking at the conversation I'm having yesterday with Vols fans, just like, y'all ready to get rid of them? And I think that's what those comments did. It incited that group, probably 1%.
Well, taking Crompton's comment out of context incited it, for sure.
Yes, no doubt about it. But I was like, I didn't know we were off him already.
615-737-1045. I'd love to get your thoughts on this. Tennessee fans, starting your Tuesday morning, what's your approval rating of Josh Heupel? Curious what callers think about this. 615-737-1045. Satisfied? Not satisfied? Does he need to prove it to you again next season? Where are you at with Josh Heupel? We'll get to your thoughts next.
It's Ramon Foster for Bronze Motorsports. Yes, that Bronze Motorsports, where they believe in this. You dream it, they'll design and build it for you. If you didn't know where they're located 789 West Main Street in Hendersonville, Tennessee, man. They're on Main Street. As soon as you get off the exit, they're right down the street for you, man. But they're trying to take your vehicle to the next level. Mine also, man. They specialize in transforming rides with statement-making custom wheels, immersive audio experiences, and head-turning style through custom tents. And here's the thing. I'll just be quite honest with y'all. Sometimes it's kind of, bad going to these shops because you feel like you just been taken for money. You're spending money on stuff you don't know the full information about. Well, that's not Bronze Motorsports at all, man. They're very family-oriented, very informative, and they care about you and how they treat you and the money that you spend. If you have a budget, they will fit whatever you need in that budget however they can and just tell you, hey, come back later. We'll do the rest at another time. But they are very sympathetic to what you want and how you want it done. They've done it with me. They've done it with others that they've dealt with also. Lift kits, lighting kits, winches, interior and audio customizations, whatever you can dream of, they have. Again, you can go to the store, 789 West Main Street, or hit up the socials at Bronze Motorsports. Make sure you tell them that Ramon sent you.
My dad and I used to golf together all the time, but when he hurt his back, it was over.
To have your son want to spend time with you is amazing. That's why my chronic back pain has been so heartbreaking. Surgery, fused bones, long recovery. No way, not for me. A friend recommended stem cells, so I gave Kellum Stem Cell Institute a call.
I'm glad you're out on the course.
Yeah, it's really good.
Call the Kellum Stem Cell Institute today.
Swing still looks just okay, though.
Ramona Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee on 104.5 The Zone. Wrapping up hour one. Back to the NFL headlines to begin hour two in 10 minutes. The Titans aren't QB sneaking with Cam Ward. Why? Mike McCoy talked about it yesterday. We will dive into that coming up here in just a few minutes. But we've been comparing Josh Heupel to James Franklin and talking about whether or not that's even really a bad thing. Open for your phone calls. What's your approval rating of Josh Heupel at this point of the 2025 season? Mike is in Nashville up next. Hey, Mike.
Morning, Mike.
Hey, gentlemen. My approval rating for Heupel is, if you go on a 1 to 10, is a 9. I think that's his overall job. Maybe not necessarily this year, but I would I graduated from UT in 2004, so I'm probably the most spoiled Tennessee generation, right? I went freshman year in '99. We were defending national champions. I had Peyton all through high school, so we're probably the most spoiled Tennessee generation as far as fans. And I think, us now getting in that age, I think that's kind of the talkback you're hearing. But I don't think being compared to James Franklin is that bad. I think one huge feather in Heupel's cap that he has also is he's a great play caller. He's not just a CEO coach. So if we have these awesome coordinators that get other jobs like Golich and stuff like that, I'm not worried about it. Heupel can call plays, he can scheme. He's not just a CEO. So overall ratings a 9. If we finish 9-3 this year, I think really big is can we beat Florida and Vanderbilt this year? Right. I think that's going to say a lot, for 9-3 or 7-5.
No doubt.
So yes, sir.
Thank you, Mike.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate the call.
Yeah.
I do think November is important for Josh Heupel to set the pressure gauge for 2026. I think you can impact the amount of pressure you are under by either going 9-3, 8-4 with a loss either in the swamp again or to Vandy, which would raise some eyebrows, especially for the people that are outside of Nashville that are Tennessee fans. Because I'm just being honest with you, Tennessee fans outside of Nashville don't think about Vanderbilt. Right. The ones here that have to deal with Vandy fans and bicker at work do. But losing to Vandy loses you a lot of points, regardless of how good Vandy is, because the average Tennessee fan is just never going to respect Vanderbilt football until they have years like this for a decade straight. Okay. And that's not me projecting that. I'm not saying that's the way it should be. I'm just telling you that is the way Tennessee fans outside of Nashville operate. Mm-hmm. Or you could go 9-3 and it feels like the pressure doesn't really increase at all this season. Because if you go 9-3 after losing Nico the way that you did, nobody in their right mind is putting any kind of hot seat pressure on Josh Heupel.
No doubt. It's the hurdle of Gainesville. I will say that, getting over that one finally. I don't even care if you stumble out of the blocks. If you close that thing out with a 1-point dub in Gainesville, feather in the cap, I think that gives them a lot of grace. If you get Vanderbilt this year, too, in their best year historically is what I've heard people say ever.
Yeah,
this is even over Jay Cutler era, right? Then, you give yourself a whole lot more grace when it comes down to the expectations going into next year. And 2, I think you have a better way of retaining what you have as a staff, too, as a roster is what I mean. You mentioned, the coaches, the caller Mike did mention the coaches who's also gotten head coaching jobs from under Heupel, too. I thought that was super unique looking at Golich. Ain't Jerry Mack one of his disciples, too, at this point?
Kennesaw State.
That's 2 head coaches under his regime currently.
Tim Banks might be another one eventually.
And Tim Banks,
I know people have not been happy this season with the defense, and rightfully so. But again, you're missing 2 All-American corners. What do you expect?
I'll say all that and say, yes, there are still some things he needs to tweak and figure out as a staff.
100%. If your name isn't Ryan Day, then you've got a lot of things you've got to tweak as a staff right now.
Is that the cushiest job in all of sports? All of sports.
I think Dave Roberts with the Los Angeles Dodgers, who just bought his 2nd straight World Series, would have something to say about that. Okay. Dave Roberts does a good job, but to your point, there are jobs that are easier in college sports, but not a lot easier than what Ryan Day's had to do. He's done a good job, though. He deserves credit.
And their history has allowed that. And that big old fan base, too.
Jason is in Old Hickory next. Hey, Jason.
Hey, man, I was just calling because y'all was talking about the state of Heupel's situation.
Yep.
And I think it's pretty clear-cut and simple that when you got the national media, they're going to look at Tennessee and be like, oh, they didn't make it to the playoffs this year. That's a drop-off. That's where this question is here and coming now. But as a Tennessee fan, as somebody that's been watching how the team has been operating for years now, Nico left us, and it's not not just Nico. It's the receivers. We half our receiving core left too. I think the fact that we even had a chance to make it to the college football playoff this year was all because of Heupel. There's literally no other. When you take a step back and you look at everything, it has to be him because all these people that are coming out having breakout years, Aguilar, Brazel, you start to look at them, it's because of Heupel putting them in the right position at the right time.
Yep. Thank you, Jason.
About it, Jason.
Appreciate the call.
You got Brazil this year mess around and be a first-round draft pick. Mess around. I ain't saying that's a guarantee at this point. He'll mess around and do it. You got two corners, Colton Hood specifically, that'll mess around and be a first-round draft pick. James Pierce Jr. last year is a first-round draft pick. You got also Jamar McCoy still labeled as a first-round draft pick.
Yes. And we'll see how good the defense is when he comes back, too. We'll see. Coming up, why are the Titans not sneaking more with Cam Ward? Interesting stuff from interim head coach Mike McCoy that you will hear from yesterday's press conference coming up next.
It's Ramon Foster for Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Man, there's so many issues that can go on around the holiday season. I know there's a lot of stress and anxiety coming to the uncle that comes over and mess up the plumbing, or the kids messing with the HVAC system or the thermometer and messing it up, thermostat, and messing it up, or just a simple electrical emergency. Well, I'm here to tell you, Hiller can solve all those problems for you. Most of the time, you don't know what it will cost you if it get fixed right, or if it's just somebody trying to sell you something. But when you call Hiller, the experts are going to solve your problems quickly. Here's the thing. So I've called them, and I've also used their online site. And it's quick, it's simple, it's easy, and they are very professional about it. It's because their model has been happy you'll be as the service is free. And that starts with the call or the setup online that they have for you. They've been in business for over 35 years, a family owned and operated too. Their techs, I'll just say this, they're super cool. You don't have to worry about a thing whenever they come to your house. They will try their hardest to get whatever you need fixed done. And again, if they don't, well, your service will be free. And when they're on their time, you'll receive a photo of the tech and a link to track them in real time, so you're not sitting around wasting time. Listen to me. If you have a heating, plumbing, cooling, or electrical emergency, reach out to the company I do, man. You can visit their website at happyhiller.com.
It is 7:02. Good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Titans have traded edge rusher Draymond Jones to the Baltimore Ravens for a conditional 2026 fifth-round draft pick that could turn into a fourth-round pick in 2026. The fifth-round pick would come from the Jets, but if it turns into a fourth-round pick, it would be from the Ravens. Jones, in his lone season for the Titans, accumulated 4.5 sacks, all coming in the last 4 games. The NFL trade deadline is today at 3 p.m. Central. And speaking of trades and the deadline, the Cowboys this morning are finalizing a trade to acquire Bengals middle linebacker Logan Wilson for a 2026 seventh-round draft pick, per multiple reports. Wilson, who has 2 years left on a 4-year, $36 million extension, signed in 2023. Week 9 of the NFL season wrapped up last night with the Cardinals beating the Cowboys 27-17, and they end a 5-game losing streak. Jacoby Brissett, in place of Kyler Murray, threw for 261 yards and 2 touchdowns, and also rushed for a score as well. Marvin Harrison Jr. caught 7 passes for 96 yards and a touchdown in the win. And to the ice, where the Nashville Predators fall to the Vancouver Canucks 5-4 in overtime last night. Philip Forsberg with the 6th goal in the season and also added an assist. The Predators are back on the ice tonight in Minnesota, facing off against the Wild with puck drop at 7 o'clock. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Hour 2 begins on NFL Trade Deadline Day. You are listening and maybe watching Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee. Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet, where Scooters wakes you up on your Tuesday. Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, where you join the discussion. The F&M Bank chat is wide open for your comments and conversation. 11-year NFL veteran Ramon Foster, Justin Hawkins, Will Bowling. So the Titans have run one quarterback sneak of any kind this year. In week 2, on 3rd and 1, they ran a traditional QB sneak and got a first down. Yesterday, Mike McCoy was asked by A to Z's Eastern Freeze, who joins us at 9:20 this morning, why didn't you go back to that in a short yardage situation and run Wildcat like you did yesterday? Here is Titans interim head coach Mike McCoy.
Offense needs a yard. Why isn't sneaking the ball with Cam your first consideration?
That's always a consideration. There's plenty of plays you have in your playbook, going to your game plan. Some weeks you use that, some weeks you don't.
With plenty of teams around the league, that is their go-to in that spot. Why is it not for you all?
We go in each week and say this is what we think is best to do in this situation.
So you are comfortable sneaking with Cam?
Yes.
How often have you guys called it since you've taken over?
I don't have the sneak. I don't have exact numbers in the whole year and things like that.
You feel like you've done it?
We got it in a plan. We can always do it.
In the plan, but have you used it?
No. In a game, we haven't used it in a game.
What good is it if you're using it in practice? If you're not using it,
well, there's a number. Okay.
Of course, we're asking about a game.
Yeah.
Titans interim head coach Mike McCoy speaking yesterday.
I got the boy in the blender right there. I'll say too, PK, there's a lot of plays that are practiced over the course of the week, over the course of the year that don't just get used too. And we ask those same questions as players sometimes. Why do we work on all these plays in camp if we're not going to use them? So to be fair, PK, that happens a lot, and we as players ask that question too. It just comes down to philosophies and how coaches choose to do those types of things. I'll say this, that's normal.
Sure, but I think it's a fair question.
It's an awesome question.
Why is it in the plans? Why is it something that's discussed as an option and then never used as an option? That question is still relevant, right?
Yes, no, I'm laughing at it because they got him in the mix.
Because you guys in the locker room are also asking this question sometimes. Being like, why do we keep practicing this and not use it? Yeah, okay.
Yes, that's what I'm getting at.
I see what you mean.
We're asking this too. Why are you having us do this and we're not going to use it? And it's funny hearing somebody in the media put them in the blender without having an answer for it.
I see what you mean.
So, yes, he's right. I just think it's funny because that is a normal locker room conversation right there. Right. It is. All right. Moving on from that. coaches have their philosophies. The only thing I can think of. We went under center some, but our mindset was our athletes are better than yours, and our quarterback is better and smarter than yours. So we're going to go empty and put the ball in one of our athletes' hands.
Well, so I wanted to ask you about this because I feel like your perspective as an offensive lineman on QB sneaks has got to be different from fans. Here's the thing. Fans, myself included, view QB sneaks as an auto conversion. Like, it is the most common thing yelled from 300 levels around the United States of America. Whoa. Just go under center and sneak it. I'm not going to lie. I was one of those people in the 300 level of Neyland Stadium on Saturday on a 4th and short. This is the intersection of a Titans conversation and a Vols conversation in one. Why isn't QB sneak just the automatic call with 1 yard to go? Because I feel like it is the most successful play in football that is not used at the same rate as its success is, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, but here's also the other thing. You're dealing with so many different components in that. That 1 yard is hard to get in general, especially when you know what's coming for you. Guys can dive underneath you in those settings. You don't have the proper blocking technique because guys go low. Feet can get kicked out from underneath you as defensive linemen are crawling under you. It might just be a 0-0 block, meaning you don't move, they don't move. If you don't move, they don't win that yard right there, too. Then I'll be honest with you, the other part what some coaches believe in, too, maybe the other side is just better than you on that play and in that moment. You've seen coaches watch the flow of the line of scrimmage, and offensive line coaches know that, too. We're getting our butts kicked right now. We can't run this play. So you elect to go for something that's softer and outside. It's just that Wildcat play right there was probably better suited for Cam having a football in his hand and trying to create in that moment. That's what you drafted him for. That's one of his strong
suits.
But
they ran Wildcat. That's
I know.
point.
That's what I'm saying. But, like, I'm saying the other alternative was probably putting the ball in Cam's hand.
Sure.
And then here's the thing. Cam's not the biggest quarterback to be pushing a pile like that. Maybe they don't have in the play that the Eagles have with the tush push or many other teams. It's, to me, honestly, it's coaches. And maybe they felt like the offensive line was getting their butt kicked to way too much to actually put Cam in that situation. I've also heard two coaches say they don't like the quarterbacks being in that position because it's free hits on the QB. There's also hitting him in the head, jumping on top of him, the risk of his, him running and getting his ankle dislocated because people jumping over the pile. All of that is allowed. I'm just painting every scenario in which coaches choose not to. And I've heard this also be said.
You bring up a good point. Could they be just protecting Cam Ward and bubble wrapping the guy that is the whole point of this season, right? Like, and I think anybody, and I've seen this on social media a little bit, people like, you know what, maybe Cam needs to take a seat a little bit. Maybe Cam needs to be benched the way he's playing. Cam is not going to get better if he doesn't play. And I don't care if things aren't great around him. When you are a number 1 overall pick, your goal and expectation is to elevate the playmakers that you are given.
That's true.
You don't get that opportunity by holding a clipboard and putting a headset on over on the bench. The guy was playing the wing T offense within the last 5 years. The only way he's going to learn more about how to fix the footwork in live game settings and to be a pro quarterback is by playing, get this, pro quarterback. Yeah. So to that point, if Mike McCoy had come out and just said, hey, we're protecting our quarterback. We feel like it is so important for Cam to get time on task and live reps this season. We don't want to put him in harm's way in a QB sneak where defensive players can tee off on him. I'd say, okay, fair enough. Because, yes, this season is about Cam Ward and about Cam getting on-the-job experience, considering his background and the amount of pro quarterback that he has played. But to that point, I do think that QB sneak, at least after the second time Wildcat didn't work, would have been a better option.
But didn't they also run the football on the goal line on 3rd down and got nothing, too?
Out of the Wildcat.
Yeah.
And then on 4th down, they handed it off to Pollard at the back of a I formation set with Corey Levitt at fullback.
I say this with all due respect to those guys. They're just not good enough right now, the offensive line, to move bodies.
I think that's the issue. Again, that is plaguing the Titans more than anything on offense.
They're not good enough.
Can you win one-on-one matchups on the line of scrimmage? Unfortunately, the answer has been no more than it has been yes this season. relative to our expectations. We thought this offensive line was going to take potentially a really big step forward and be the strength of the offense. I did. I was wrong. I thought this offensive line would be better this season than it has been. We both did.
I most definitely did.
It was there on paper.
I wasn't hype about this offensive line. I was sure that it was going to be good.
I thought it was the strength of the offense. Yeah, it hasn't been.
And I honestly can't point to anything as to why it's like that, other than saying, like, the offensive line position, it's not like we can judge their speed. It's not like we can judge their catches, their tackles, their dominance that they have as far as, the one-on-one, because the offensive lineman can be in a losing position but still block his guy, and that's a win. You know what I'm saying? Like, only thing you can judge this group on is what were the teachings from Coach Bill Callahan? Why isn't this resonating with this offensive line as it has with other places that he's been at? Does the offense play, scheme, match with his blocking techniques too?
Yeah.
I told you I'm trying to effort this answer right here, and I'll have it before the end of this week on to why this mashup wasn't seamless between father and son and offense. For the life of me, that may need
with
to
Bill
be
Callahan's what you're talking about.
Yeah, with Bill Callahan and Brian's offense, that may need to be the biggest study going into this offseason. Why?
What went wrong?
It's 3 first-rounders. Zeitler was a first-rounder.
Yeah, 4 first.
I know he's older.
There are 4 former first-round picks who are playing offensive line for the Tennessee Titans.
Who's the other one?
It is Peter Skoronski.
Yeah.
It is Lloyd Cushenberry.
Lloyd was a 4th, wasn't he?
Lloyd?
He's high dollar right now.
Maybe you're right.
Yeah, but to your point, he was
he's 3rd. You're right.
3rd. Okay.
You're right.
But still, this first
3 first-round picks, a 3rd, and
he was
what was
83rd.
Dan? Yeah,
Dan was a 4th.
Yeah.
But Dan is a day 1 starter.
Yeah.
In this league.
My apologies.
Yeah, no, don't. But like the point of it all remains the same. This isn't a undrafted group of guys. Not a single undrafted dude on this.
$100 million left tackle, top 15 overall pick guard, high dollar center, veteran former first round pick, journeyman but solid right guard, and top 10 overall pick right tackle.
Mr. Keefe saying the O-line needs time to gel. Guess what? You ain't got that.
Hey, time's up. Time's up.
Zeitler's gone next year.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cush.
I mean, sooner rather than later, we're going to be talking about, is it time to give Jackson Slater a chance to play some guard, to plan for the future? Because that time may come this year where you say, hey, Zeitler, we appreciate you, man. You've been a good locker room guy. But we got to learn what we got in the young guy because you're probably not going to be here next year.
I'm determined to find that answer as to why.
Yep. 615-737-1045. Deal or no deal? Titans trade deadline edition. There's no banker. I do not have a bald cap to impersonate Howie Mandel. I do have a full head of hair. But we are going to play deal or no deal of Titans trade deadline hypotheticals coming up next.
One of the largest sports books east of the Mississippi, Circa Sports Kentucky, is now open. Catch all your favorite games on an 80-foot screen with stadium-style seating and live VSiN broadcast daily. Circa Sports, now open at the Mint Gaming Hall, Kentucky Downs.
Look, I consider myself an expert on a couple of things in life, and maybe number one on the list, how to snack during a football game. And my new obsession as a part of this is Daisy French onion dip. Look, I know how to line up a spread, how to feed myself during the day, right? Watch parties, tailgates, you name it. During football season, Daisy French onion dip has skyrocketed to the top of my list on things I've got to have on game day. I eat dips with chips, with wings, with veggies if I'm trying to be a little healthy on a Saturday or Sunday. Well, now Daisy's come out with this delicious French onion dip and ranch dip. They're a game changer. As delicious as a homemade dip made with real herbs and spices. Make sure you try some whether you are just snacking around the house or getting ready to watch some sports and snack in the process. Daisy French onion dip is available at a grocery store near you. What if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rates to 4.99% APR? Hey, it's Will Bowling. Right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days. Pay off all those high-interest credit cards and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. One call, life changed. There's no wait. No hard credit pull up front. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates are at a 3-year low, so act now. Call 615-499-5780 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto, A+ rated with the BBB and nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call 615-499-5780 and see how much cash you can get today. LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. On approved credit, visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Ramona Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee on 104.5 The Zone, making deals on NFL trade deadline day. Ramon Foster is going to be the contestant. I am going to be the banker, giving you options here on trade deadline day. So here's what we're going to do, Ramon. Yeah.
What a banker.
Absolutely. The current Titans draft picks,
all right,
after trading Draymond Jones yesterday, are the following. The Titans have their own first, second, third, and fourth round picks. They have 2 fifth-round picks. One of them could become a fourth. That's what they traded for in exchange for Draymond Jones yesterday. That is from the Ravens, originally the Jets, could become a fourth that also could become the Ravens' fourth based on unknown parameters.
So I got 3 5s. So it's only 2 5s. That 1 5 is going to...
You got 2 5s.
2 5s.
Yep.
All right, let me get those off my list.
And the other fifth is from the Rams, which was the Titans' fifth that they traded last year in the Ernest Jones deal. Returned in the Roger McCreary trade. The Titans have 2 sixth-round picks, but we don't know which of them are theirs yet. We know they're going to have their own sixth-round pick because that's going to be the best one. They also have the Ravens pick that was given to them from the Jets in the Jarvis Brownlee trade. You still with me? And the sixth-round pick from the Rams, which is the conditional pick from L.A. in the Ernest Jones deal. Because, again, the Titans somehow got Ernest Jones for a 5th and 6th pick swap last offseason. Don't know how they pulled that off. They also have their 7th-round pick. The worst of those 3 sixths will go to the Rams in the Roger McCreary deal. So Easton Freeze of A to Z Sports is going to join us at 9:20. He put together some hypothetical trades. I've also got one more hypothetical trade I'm going to throw out there myself that I'm going to ask you deal or no deal on, involving a couple of Titans players.
All right.
So
this is for this year today?
Yes, this is today.
This ain't draft we're doing. We ain't packaging up anything right now.
What do you mean?
This isn't us talking about the draft like, hey, to move up. This is just current state.
No.
Okay.
We're talking about players the Titans could trade today.
All right.
In exchange for a draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know, would you do this deal or not? Deal or no deal? All right, Justin, hit it. First deal. Tennessee Titans tight end Chig Okonkwo had a career-high 528 yards in 2023. This season, he has 29 catches for 281 yards, 9.7 yards per reception. Here is the deal that Easton Freeze is making that I am giving to you today, Ramon Foster. The Tennessee Titans send a 7th-round pick and Chig Okonkwo. They receive a 6th-round pick. Deal or no deal?
No deal.
Oh, okay. All right. No deal.
No deal.
So you do not want a 7th to 6th pick swap for Chig Okonkwo. Why?
One, this without having context, where is that 6 coming from? Number one. Also got to send you a pick along with Chig, too. Like, that should be an even swap at this point, considering this time of the season. I shouldn't have to pay you to take another player. They told us the way they're going to operate, that this team is trying to gather as many picks as they can. Going from a 6 to a 7-round pick nets you who? Historically, I don't know what Borgans is going to do in this draft. So why would I give away one last shot in the 7th to give away a player that can, we also have said, should be helping Cam when he's on an expiring deal anyway? Like, I'm not going to give away another pick to an expiring contract player just to move up 20 picks at that point. That's too low. If you'd have told me a 6, like if you'd have told me a 5th, all right, cool. For a desperate team, there's what I would tell you is come back to me later. I think there's a more desperate team.
The Packers are desperate. They just lost Tucker Kraft.
Sure did.
So if they come calling, I think you could definitely get a little bit of a higher pick there.
Give me a more desperate team. Whoever sent that deal over ain't desperate enough the way I look at it.
If you could get a straight-up 6th, would you do it?
If I can get a straight-up 6, that makes more sense. I'm not giving up my 7th.
If the Titans did get a straight-up 6th-round pick, they would have 3 6ths.
I like that more than giving up the 7th.
And they would still have their 7th in that situation.
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. No deal.
Are you okay with that one?
For a 7th to 6th swap, yeah, I am.
Okay. Understood.
I think it's a fair price. to be honest with you, for a tight end 2, not a tight end 1. And I think that the Titans are going to rely more on Gunnar Helm because of it. So it kind of forces them to do something that I'd like to see more of anyway, is rely more on their most recent draft pick. Right. I think it's a fair price, and I think it allows Gunnar Helm to be the guy. So, yeah, I'm okay with it.
I understand that.
We're going to see how eager the Titans are to make Cam Ward's weapons and cast of characters immediately worse. I don't know. At this point, I don't think they're making any other deals today. I think they're done with the with the Draymond Jones, not Ernest Jones, with the Draymond Jones deal. But I do think if anyone's getting traded, it would be Chikakonkwo for that reason. I think their type has changed so much at tight end that they're going to start with Gunnar Helm and then go from there moving forward. But we'll see.
I don't know if looking at the Chiefs team, they have a Chikakonkwo type of tight end on the Chiefs right now.
They got a lot of tight ends. They got Blake Bell still too.
All long and lean too, guys.
Yeah, maybe. But I just think that's more kind of their type.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm getting to that point.
Oh, okay. Saying that they won't trade for him. Right.
Yeah, no.
Sure.
But I'm with Hall. Green Bay is a little bit more desperate.
Let's continue.
All right.
Another deal on the table.
I like that one.
We're going to ask Ramon Foster, deal or no deal on the following deal.
I don't feel bad about leaving that one on the table.
Calvin Ridley is in a similar position to DeAndre Hopkins last season. Now, if you'll remember, a banker a year ago made an offer, Mike Borgonzi, a part of that credit union, that sent a fifth that would have become a fourth for 31-year-old DeAndre Hopkins, who was coming off of a 1,000-yard season. Well, would you look at that? 31-year-old Calvin Ridley is coming off a 1,000-yard season and could be had for the following. Easton Freeze writes at A-to-Z-Sports.com. This following deal. Ramon, deal or no deal, the Titans send Calvin Ridley and receive a conditional fourth-round pick that could become a third if those conditions are met. Take me through your thought process before you tell me what you're taking.
I'm operating as if this is a fourth regardless. I'm looking at a guy that I probably cut in the offseason anyway, or I don't expect a lot of progress out of. Me moving into the fourth round gives me picks into the 120s, up to 120-ish. If it's a contender, we're probably on the back end of that 120, midway about 110 or later. I say deal. Depending on how desperate that team is on playing him, I don't think most teams are going to conditionally provide a better outcome for you, but let's just say they have to. Their star receiver gets hurt and Calvin plays more, et cetera, et cetera. That moves me up to a 3. The actual idea of me having a chance to get a 3, hey, sign me up.
Deal.
Yes.
I would do that deal.
Okay. Even though if the condition stays at a 4.
Yep.
Okay, same.
I would do that deal.
Everybody else in the just deal.
Yeah, the F&M Bank chat did not like the Chikakonkwo trade. They do like that trade.
They like this one.
For Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was generous right there, I thought.
I thought so too.
I'll take it.
I think you're more likely to have the same deal that DeAndre Hopkins was, which is a conditional fifth that could become a fourth, instead of a fourth that could become a conditional third. Let's continue. The following trade is for second-year defensive tackle T'Vondre Sweat. Who was seen as a double-team eater for Jeffrey Simmons. T'Vondre Sweat seen as this fleet-footed big man. In the words of Ran Carthon, who helped draft him, not a lot of human beings move that way. God didn't create a lot of T'Vondre Sweats. Well, all of a sudden, the banker is offering you a fourth-round pick for T'Vondre Sweat.
Yeah.
A fourth-round pick. No conditions, just a straight-up fourth-round pick. Deal or no deal?
You mind if straight up fourth? You mind if I phone a friend?
Sure.
I wish I had the phone call now.
Waiting on a response. You said T'Vondre Sweat, a last year second round pick.
Yeah.
For a fourth.
Yeah.
All right.
You gonna say who you're phoning? What's going on? I didn't know phone a friend was a
Yes,
part
we
of it.
are phoning a friend.
What's happening?
I'm calling
you can hear
Dreeland. Yes, you can. Dreeland, you on air right now, man. We're playing deal or no deal, so we got to keep it cool. We got to keep it clean, okay?
Okay, all right. Talk to me.
What's up, Slay?
You hear Will?
What up, Will Lee?
I didn't know phone a friend was a part. We're combining millionaire and deal or no deal, but go ahead.
We are.
I won't take any more of your time.
What he say?
So we're combining deal or no deal.
Did you wake him up for this?
Yeah, I did wake him up for this. This is my brother, and I love him, okay? If I'm ever on the side of the road, I'm calling him and the wife. All right, we'll figure this one out. So,
oh yeah, we on the way.
So the deal presented to us is last year's second round pick T'Vondre Sweat for a trade, a straight up fourth round pick, no sending of draft picks. Do you take this deal or not for him for fourth?
For T'Vondre Sweat?
Right now, in the current state of sell, and management and everything else that's combined with that,
yeah.
Do you need some sweeter? Are you taking that one to get more draft pick? Mind you, I also just took a conditional fourth round for Calvin that can turn into a third.
Okay. So I could couple them together and move up a little bit more and probably get a late second or early third if I couple them together.
If you accept this T'Vondre.
Yeah, get him out of here.
Get him up out of here.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole team leaving. I'm trying to see if the popcorn vendor want to leave too. Everybody can go.
Well, Ron Slay, thank you, sir. I'll send you your portions of this deal when we're done in the commission. Thank you, sir.
Hey, dog.
All right, Savage. Love you, dog.
Ron Slay, the phone a friend.
Deal.
Okay.
He gone.
Deal. All right.
He gone.
Okay.
He gone.
So you are taking a fourth round pick for T'Vondre Sweat. I would not do that deal. My price is a 3 for T'Vondre if I'm doing that trade.
I just feel like there's more context to T'Vondre, too, on why I would take that deal.
Okay.
I don't know in year 2 we're seeing the jump that he would be. I'm also watching his play-to-play effectiveness, and it hasn't taken the step that I wanted. So I don't know if he's out of shape. And I don't say out of shape because of his size. I mean out of shape because he's been out of games. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And I'm not sure it's there. Somebody asked a question to us both in the chat earlier. Do I feel like he's more stronger as a pass rusher? I thought last year with the intensity that he played with, yes. This year, I don't know if we're seeing that constantly enough to say, I believe in his type of player as an interior defensive lineman to make him as dominant.
I've got one more deal for you.
Oh, okay.
As the banker today.
This is good.
One final deal. Let's do it. This is from Drew Beatty at Iron City Film. Put this out. Also, Drew, shout out to him, who had Draymond Jones for a 5th last night on Twitter before it happened. Or yesterday morning as a prediction. Final offer for you. Melrose High School's finest. The pride of Memphis, Tennessee. Tony Pollard. Will you accept a deal where I am offering you a 5th round pick? You've got to give me Tony Pollard and a 6th. Straight up pick swap.
Okay.
Tony Pollard, you got to give me a 6th round pick. With the trades that we have made, you've got 2 6th to work with. You've got the best of your own and the Jets. You've got your 6th round pick and the Jets' 6th round pick,
right?
Essentially. Deal or no deal?
I'm going deal on that one.
Okay.
I am. I find myself out of that contract after this year anyway. I want to see what I can get out of Tajay Spears moving forward. You already have Julius Chestnut and as a back two. The answers for his replacement is there. If that pick swap moves us up a little bit, okay, I like that. But I also at this point get an opportunity to build build with guys I know will be here. I don't see Tony in 2026 being a Tennessee Titan.
Okay. I do not think that deal would happen because I don't know if there's that much of a market for a running back at that stage of his career. I think it's easier to find a practice squad level running back that can step in behind a good line and perform on a good team than it is to need to trade for one. I do think Tony Pollard, though, has earned at least the conversation with how hard that he has run and how well that he has made the most of that situation here. So you're doing that trade. So at the end of the day, of the 4 deals that I've offered Ramon Foster, you are trading Calvin Ridley for a conditional 4th. You are trading Tavondre Sweat for a straight-up 4th. And you are swapping a 6th for a 5 to send Tony Pollard to somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, so if you, Ramon Borgonzi, were making the deals here, this is how you would end today with draft compensation after making these deals with me, the banker. You would have your own 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round picks. You would have 3 4th round picks. 1 in the Calvin Ridley trade and 1 in the Tavondre Sweat trade.
That could be a 3rd.
You would have 3 5th round picks. One of them that could become a 4th in the Draymond Jones trade. You would also have your own 5th that the Rams gave you back in the McCreary deal, and you would have the 5th you just got for Tony Pollard. You would only have 1 6th. It would be your own, and you would have 1 7th. You would keep Kevin Zeitler, Arden Key, Jahad Ward, and Chikakonkwa.
Yeah, I can't keep taking from Denard. I don't feel like he and Borgonzi wouldn't be on speaking terms at this point. So, yeah, Arden, I mean, he's already down right now. Jeff and him are real cool. The dynamic of that also. Zeitler's fine. And Chig. I mean, I would try my hardest to work a deal with Chig, depending on what's available to you in the draft. But you telling me we got those 4s, those 5s. Here's the thing about getting all those light round picks. I guess the perception of it, and I may be wrong, because the draft and negotiations is all about buying low and selling high. Like, that's what you want. So those 6s could turn into stars like Antonio Brown, but how many Antonio Browns have come out? We can't name a whole lot of them, right?
Sure.
So if you're telling me you're talent deprived, well, getting all of those 4s and those 5s help you out up that level of talent.
You would have 11 picks. It also means that if you have a strong conviction about a player in the 2nd or 3rd round and you don't think they're going to be there in 5 to 10 picks, all of a sudden you've got 3 4th round picks that you can, hey, take one of my 4s tomorrow. I'm going to move up 10 spots because I think Jacksonville wants to go get this wide receiver that I really like. All of a sudden you can be more confident about sure things on day 2 and 3 of the NFL draft when you have ammunition to move up a little bit. Or you could even move down and get more ammunition to go get guys if you feel like there's an area and a position that has got a lot of depth on day 2 or 3 of the draft. Feel like, hey, there are a lot of running backs. We feel like there is value where running back this year is hot and it wasn't last year. Well, all of a sudden, you've got a lot of swings that you can take on a position where you feel like, hey, 4 or 5 of these guys on day 2 and 3, we'd feel okay ending up with.
And early swings, too.
Earlier. Sure. If you walked out of here with 3 4th round picks today, you'd be feeling pretty good about yourself.
Would.
Absolutely. 615-737-1045, wide open phone lines. Who is the player you think is most likely to be traded? Who would you try to do a deal to send away today if you were in the Tennessee Titans front office? We'll get to your thoughts next.
Smashville hockey. Around here, it can sound like a language of its own. But hey, if you can pronounce Demumbrian, then names like Yossi, Shea, and Marchessault will roll right off the tongue. Nashville Predators, only in Smashville.
Ramon and Will at 104.5 The Zone, fueled by Scooters Coffee, at Ramon and Will, where you can follow the show on Twitter. Ramon Foster and Will Bowling, 615-737-1045. We did get one tweet at Ramon and Will that says, trade J.C. Latham.
Dang.
Okay. Well, that's not going to happen. But
I'm a little hesitant on that.
Appreciate the input, David. There you go.
Trade JC already? Yeah, no. Finding big human beings is just harder to do on the offensive line. I'm not even saying that in a biased position right there.
No, you're right. I agree.
I just think there are more willing defensive linemen that you can find to supplement than you can a top 10 pick like JC, though, too. That's the other side of it.
Neil on Twitter says, if the Titans trade Jeffrey Simmons, the stadium will be empty, or a little more empty. They're not trading Jeffrey Simmons.
I tell you the price of a ticket this past weekend. I saw.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it wasn't much.
I logged on and it was $8.33.
Okay. There you go.
I haven't seen ticket prices that low since that January cold snow game.
I was there.
You were there?
Against the Texans.
Yeah,
sat
It's
outside.
about like $5 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard you say that.
Yep. I'm not a fair weather fan. I'm always there.
It'll be packed at some point.
Now I work for Titans Radio, so I'm definitely there.
Yeah, you
but
gotta be there.
back then I was definitely there too.
Yeah.
No, I would be totally, absolutely stunned if they traded Jeffrey Simmons. The only reason I say there's a 0.0% chance is because there's never a 0.0% chance. Like, unless your name's Cam Ward, I guess maybe technically they are not trading Jeffrey Simmons. It's just not going to happen.
I'd be shocked.
Just not going to happen. So
They're gonna have to work hastily to get this thing going, though, for his sake, or that conversation may get louder within a year or two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You think they make any more deals today?
I can't see it happening, being honest with you. I think the Draymond Jones one was the shiny last one. I think that's about it. It'd be interesting to see if they're trying to move Tavondre. That'd be the only one that I think. But here's the thing: Tavondre has to be your type. Like, it's like having a $10 million house in Hendersonville. Let's just throw that out there. A $12 million house in Hendersonville. One
great.
is Hendersonville, humble Hendersonville.
It's out of my tax.
Like, it's outside of mine too. I'm paying for that. I just wouldn't do it. But the crowd gets smaller. Not only does the crowd get smaller, but then like the understanding of like paying for that is a little bit different too. Tavondre to me is, I think, a specialty piece for a lot of teams. You'll take him if you can get him for cheap. I don't think many are going to give much to actually take him, though.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I agree. I don't think they're making any other deals. I think that if anyone's getting traded, it would most likely be Okonkwo, because I'm side-eyeing the Green Bay Packers situation and their desperation with Tucker Kraft out for the season to maybe add a weapon. I just think that it's difficult to really justify making Cam Ward's weapons and cast of characters on offense worse.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to teach Cam, hey, it's okay to check the ball down and live to fight another day. Well, who's the player that allows you to do that? Okonkwo. And Chig's ability to take a 5-yard check down or a 4-yard underneath route, make a guy miss, and all of a sudden have a 15 to 20-yard gain. It's positive reinforcement for Cam not taking unnecessary risks by having Chig around. One commenter on YouTube on the Jeffrey Simmons trade possibility says, well, there was a 0 chance they were trading A.J. Brown. Yeah, but A.J. Brown wanted a new contract and wanted out. And Jeff, behind the closed doors, may want that, but that is not being publicly negotiated the way that A.J. Brown's was being publicly put out there. And 2, A.J. Brown had knee issues and medical red flags that Jeff does not have.
You remember how loud
it's not
that
the
was?
Same situation. Yes, 100%. I'm with you.
You remember how loud that conversation was? A lot of this, I ain't gonna say a lot, a good bit of this fan base was of the mindset, we're not paying him with those shot knees.
I was one of them.
Yeah.
I didn't hate the trade the day it was made.
Yeah.
I still don't hate the trade, the A.J. Brown trade. I just hate what they did to replace him.
Right.
Putting it all on one first-round pick named Treylon Burks. Like, trading a wide receiver in their prime like that is not always the worst decision. You just, either have to have a quarterback that can make a lesser wide receiver close to that level of production, or you got to get another one of those receivers. The Titans had neither after 2021. There was much more much more noise around the AJ thing than there ever has been around Jeff. It's just not the same situation.
There's a lot of noise around him now in Philly, though.
AJ? Yeah, there is.
I was listening to ESPN, which I shouldn't be listening to them at all. I didn't watch Monday Night Football last night, and I'm not afraid to say it. I ain't paying the $5. Me and J.J. Watt are both of the mindset right now because he tweeted about it. Why? I got a bundle, okay, and I'm not allowed to watch it right now. It is the silliest billionaire bullcrap I feel like we've ever had in our entire existence as a being for cable TV right now, by the way. I ain't paying the $5. Y'all better put my Disney back on my YouTube TV is what I'm telling y'all. By the way, speaking of bass, though, let me tell you something good, though, too. Shout out to Two Rivers Ford, man. They came to my house yesterday to change my oil on my truck, man. That was first-class service. Disney and YouTube TV, get more like like Two Rivers Ford is what I'm telling y'all, all right? I'm like Martin Lawrence, all right? I ain't paying the $5. They not getting another package out of me. All right, I'm done. All right, back to these trades.
Coming up next, since Ramon Foster didn't watch it, we'll tell him what happened last night on Monday Night Football after this.
Yes. Synergex and Low T Center are the original MVPs of testosterone replacement therapy. They have been changing the lives of men across the country for over decades. Since starting, a lot of other players have entered the field, but Synergex and Low T Center are the pros providing you with the most medically driven, results-focused, and winning approach to restoring the quality of patient lives through hormone care. Just talk to one of their patients, and they will tell you TRT with Synergex and Low T Center has significantly changed their lives. So don't wait. Get into a center. Get your test. You'll be wishing you did it sooner. And the best part of it is you get your test. You get your levels. Not just that. They do your blood work also. I'm telling you personally, there's a lot that you got to figure out what's going on with your body and how you react and how it responds to certain things. Well, Synergex and Low T Center will help you with that. But it's not just men also. They also help women. Women experience some of the same things that men do with tiredness, low energy, mood swings, low libido. Women can get in and get their tests too. And you can, and treatment includes testosterone injections or even hormone pellets for women too. They got a long history of helping women, just helping people in general. Again, get in for a visit, man. You can book now at trtmvp.com. That's trtmvp.com. And make sure you tell them that Ramon sent you.
When you're looking to relocate and move into a new place, it is hard to get guarantees of anything. Guaranteed that you're going to find the neighborhood that you want. Guaranteed that your timeline is going to work well. Maybe you are kind of forced to relocate quickly. It's a new job. It's a new area that you've just got to be in, and an offer that you've already made on a new home. You need the peace of mind that your place is going to sell. That's where my friend Bernie Gallerani steps in. Hey, it's Will Bowling. Bernie Gallerani guarantees to sell your home in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it. There's no risk to you. Bernie will let you out of the contract at any time. He's the real estate agent with the 30-day guarantee to sell your home. If not, he will buy it from you. Make sure you head online, BernieGallerani.com. He's going to make this process simple for you. Clear communication from someone who knows the market and is going to fight for you. You can call Bernie Gallerani directly on his cell phone at 615-428-2644. Don't put it off. Take the leap with Bernie Gallerani. Enter the real estate market has never been so easy. The real estate agent with the 30-day guarantee. Online at BernieGallerani.com.
8:01, good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Titans have traded edge rusher Draymond Jones last night to the Baltimore Ravens for a conditional 2026 fifth-round draft pick that could turn into a fourth-round pick in 2026. The fifth-round pick would come via the Jets, but if it turns into a fourth-round pick, it would be from the Ravens. Jones, in his lone season for the Titans this year, has accumulated 4.5 sacks, all coming in the last 4 games. The NFL trade deadline ends today at 3 p.m. Central. Speaking of trades in the deadline, the Cowboys this morning are finalizing a trade to acquire Bengals middle linebacker Logan Wilson for a 2026 seventh-round pick, per multiple reports. Wilson has 2 years left on a 4-year, $36 million extension that he signed back in 2023. Week 9 of the NFL season wrapped up last night. Ramon, if you're listening, since you didn't watch it, the Cardinals beat the Cowboys 27-17 and end a 5-game losing streak. Jacoby Brissett, in place of Kyler Murray, threw for 261 yards and 2 touchdowns and also rushed for a score as well. Marvin Harrison Jr. caught 7 passes for 96 yards and a touchdown in the win. And to the ice, where the Nashville Predators, after losing to the Vancouver Canucks last night 5-4 in overtime, are back on the ice tonight in Minnesota as they face off against the Wild with puck drop at 7 o'clock. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans involves. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Second half of the show in hour 3 getting started on this Tuesday, an NFL trade deadline day. Ramon and Will, always fueled by our very good friends at Scooters Coffee, locally owned near you in Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. The Dallas Cowboys were averaging 40 points per game at home this season and had been a different team in the sun-shaded Jerry's world until they played the Arizona Cardinals. Make that make sense. Well, it happened last night. 27-17. Arizona ends their losing streak, goes to 3-5 with a 10-point victory over Dak Prescott and the boys. Jacoby Brissett is kind of QB1 in Arizona. Is this a thing? I think it kind of is a thing. He played really well last night, and their offense looks a lot better with him at quarterback than with Kyler Murray. Last night, the Cardinals once again finished with more than 300 yards, a mark they did not get to in Kyler Murray's 6 starts. 2 touchdown drives of 74 yards in the middle 8 minutes of the game to take a 24-7 lead in this game. And all of a sudden, Marvin Harrison Jr. looks like Marvin Harrison Jr. Or even, get this, Marvin Harrison. Played well last night.
I'm saying that the comparison between the 2 quarterbacks is kind of insane, too. Both sacked twice for 40 yards. Dak's QBR was a 36.5 and his rating 77.
Not his best game.
Brissett, man, he cooked a 115 rating.
He was very good. Marvin Harrison Jr. caught 7 of his 10 targets for 96 yards and a touchdown, including 5 of 6 targets for 61 and a touchdown on 11 matchups against Deron Bland, according to NFL Pro.
Oh, he cooked Deron Bland? Oh, that's 8
5
right
catches
there.
on 6 targets for 61.
Shook him out of his boots.
Did he really? I hate I missed that one, too. So, hold up. Kyler's hurt right now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I
think since the Titans game.
Since the Titans game. Arizona's at a point right now where they're trying to decide on who's going to be the adult in the room when it comes down to Kyler Murray, it feels like. Jacoby Brissett is a steady guy. He's a professional when you look at it. Kyler comes off, and I don't know him personally. It's just what I see as a guy that lives in his own world, and you got to follow to the beat of his drum, too. It's going to be interesting to find out what kind of quarterback Cam Ward turns into, and the people that, leads with him. I thought Draymond Jones' parting shot that he had for Cam was a huge sell for Cam. Like, Cam's that guy. Everybody continues to say that. What's funny, you don't hear anybody mention these types of things about Kyler Murray. The Cardinals in general are one of those teams I feel like that's just in its own little space and world. It's not West Coast, but it is, and it's not the Cowboys.
They're a very forgettable team.
That's how you explain. Like,
every league has a forgettable team. To me, it's the Arizona Cardinals.
It kind of sits that way, man. You're in between both LAs, and then you got Dallas on the other side of you, too.
They've not had a whole lot of success historically.
Yeah.
They're just kind of a team that exists.
And
I kind of forget that they exist.
Kyler's not helping that, though. That's the issue that you have is he's a name in this league that you know and you love, and whether it be because of injuries or whether it be because of his personality type that they're growing apart from. But this is problematic for him, especially when Jacoby come out and have a game like this.
Who is the forgettable team in every league? If it's the Arizona Cardinals, who you just like
NBA.
forget they exist. NBA.
I got NBA, and there is no one closer to it.
Okay.
When I said you're going to be like, they got a team?
I have one in my head, but go ahead.
Sacramento Kings.
Correct. That's also what I had in my head. The Sacramento Kings are very forgettable.
But
the lighting the beam thing is fun, but
Chris Webber and Jason Williams back in the day, though, like that team was white chocolate. Oh,
I'll take your word
gosh. They were cold.
Baseball, forgettable team.
Baseball, forgettable team. Hold up. Give me a second. Kansas City Royals? Sorry, Drew.
That's cool.
Drew, if you listen.
VFL Drew Beam from right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Drew. I said I wasn't going to talk about your team like that. That's on me.
I would say Seattle Mariners.
And I'm getting a call. Never mind.
Seattle Mariners and baseball. Pretty forgettable.
Oh, I can't say
Not
that about
anymore.
the Mariners.
Not with Cal Raleigh.
Yeah, no, they're better this
Rodriguez
year.
is out there cooking, too.
They were so close to making the World Series.
I can't say that one because I grew up so much as a Griffey fan that Ichiro is also in it for me, too.
Very fair. And a lot of this is the region of the country that you are in, because us being in the South, we're going to forget about teams on the West that are playing we're asleep. And people out there will probably forget about teams over here because, again, they're at work when teams over here are playing. What about hockey?
Oh, it's easy. Utah, Mammoth. A terrible franchise.
So new, though.
They're not new, though. It's a terrible franchise.
Yeah, they were
coming
the Arizona
from Arizona.
Coyotes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They had to move because the owner was awful.
Yeah.
And then they moved to Utah. The only reason why they're relevant is because they did a brand change. Other than that, you'd forget easily about them.
Did you guys see what Saturday Night Live did to the Predators on Saturday?
God.
I heard
Perfect.
they made it.
Does it cuss, Justin?
No.
Can we play it? Ramon needs to hear this.
I need to hear this.
Maybe not the whole thing. Maybe just a part of it. It was Miles Teller. Was he the one that hosted?
No, he was the Predator.
That's what I'm saying. He's the one that hosted SNL.
Oh, I don't know if he hosted or not.
Yeah, he did. If he was in the skit, then he was the host of SNL over the weekend. It is.
It's good.
I laughed really hard.
Did you?
When I heard it.
Retired brought up too. Charlotte Hornets are a
great answer.
team.
Great answer.
Although Nashville native,
no doubt,
is on that squad too. Brandon Miller, yeah. B. Miller's on that team.
Yep. All right, this was SNL on the Predators over the weekend.
Oh my gosh.
The NHL is proud of the charity work we do in our communities.
That's right. I may be a king on the ice, but I'm also a king in the community.
And I'm a ranger in my community.
And I'm a predator in my community. When you see this face, just know predators in the community.
We can just cut it there. We can just cut it there.
But it gets so much better. It gets better. It's about 3.5 minutes long. You have to watch it.
I'm glad you picked that one because there are some other jokes within that I don't feel great about playing over the radio. That one is the most tame, maybe, of all of them.
Oh, that's cold. They called us straight, man. I'm a ranger in my community. That's a good skit right there. I got to get that to him. That's how you bounce back, SNL. That is how you bounce back right there.
I feel like SNL is actually doing a pretty good job. I feel like it's gotten better again. It's cyclical.
Yeah, I like SNL. I'll be real with you. I
don't
enjoy
watch
it
that much, but
I catch it when I can. I like it.
I'm a predator in my community.
That's crazy.
When you see this face, that's not okay.
When you see this face, just know predators in the community.
I'm back.
It talks about predators going overseas and touching kids is what it talks about. It's not good. It's not
like charity work.
It's
is
charity
what you
work. Charity work. Yes, that's the joke it's making. Is that out of context? We want to be a predator. It sounds a little bit different than the original meaning of the Nashville Predators. So, anyway, that is the joke that it makes.
That's low hanging. I'm surprised nobody actually used that one beforehand.
I'm sure it has, but Anyway.
Oh, my God. That's okay. That's okay.
We went quickly from Monday Night Football to that. Anyway.
Bad day for sports, man. Is there any Nashville thing that's going right now?
Nashville Soccer Club takes on Inter Miami Saturday night in Fort Lauderdale. We are going to talk more about that this week because, again, bye week.
Yes.
And also, it's a winner-take-all playoff series game this weekend in Fort Lauderdale for Nashville SC, who beat Lionel Messi for the first time over the weekend.
Finally got over that hump.
Yeah, they did.
He played also, too?
He did. Yeah, he scored.
I thought somebody tweeted out, well, that was without Messi. I was just
very much with him.
With Messi.
Nashville wins 2-1. Goals from Sam Surridge and Josh Bauer.
Hey, okay.
Every time Nashville plays Miami with Messi in the lineup, he has scored.
He has 13 goals and 4 assists in 9 matches against Nashville.
That's cooking.
And Nashville did a good job limiting everyone else.
How were they able to create scores for themselves? Were they fast breaks? Were they set up plays?
Penalty and set piece, but again, in transition, They were really good. Nashville had more opportunities. I went back and rewatched the whole game last night because I was in Neyland as it was happening. And, they had a lot of chances in this match, and so did Miami. Joe Willis made some incredible saves, one on Luis Suarez, point blank, the former Barcelona striker, who just got robbed by Joe. It was awesome save. This is the first time in 33 matches that Miami gave up 2 or fewer goals and lost.
Gave up 2 or fewer goals and lost.
So Miami was unbeaten in the last 33 matches when they conceded 2 or less goals. They were 24-0-9. And Nashville ended that streak over the weekend.
Can we speak about the other Miami real quick, too?
What's that?
Do we need to start talking about coaches and hot seats and projections? Because Mario Cristobal and this Miami team, 2 years in a row, have crashed and burned.
Yeah, maybe that is the better comparison in terms of who the new James Franklin is now that James Franklin's been fired. It might be Mario Cristobal.
Mario Cristobal. This is 2 years in a row. And I know they lost in overtime.
Well, we'll see if they can reinvent themselves down the stretch.
But like this, I know Miami got a load of cocaine and everything else flowing down there as far as money goes, but like
they got to get in the dance and let's see what happens. But right now, yeah, it looks like another disappointing season where Mario Cristobal has not won the games on his schedule he's supposed to.
But they're not about to get in the dance this year. Like this is supposed to be the year also.
You're going to have to win the ACC. Going to have to get some help now. They no longer control their own destiny. Coming up, VolQuest's Austin Price will join us. The latest out of Tennessee football going into the bye week, Jermod McCoy's health, a couple of big recruits on campus over the weekend, and how Tennessee gets ready for the final 3 games of the season. Coming up next.
I'm Chase Kidd, right-wing predator.
This time of year, any time of year, whether you are watching football, you are just wanting a good snack to have around the house. You've heard me talk about how Daisy French onion dip is the absolute best. It's my guilty pleasure, guys. Chips with dips, with wings, with veggies, you name it, you can dip it in Daisy French onion dip and Daisy ranch dip. I'm telling you, it's a game changer. As delicious as a homemade dip made with real herbs and spices and other ingredients you'd find in your own kitchen. I've had so many of you tweet at me, see me around at sporting events. Hey, that Daisy French onion dip is really good. Yeah, I know. I'm telling you, it's a game changer. Made with real herbs and spices, it'll taste homemade. Make sure you get some. Daisy French onion dip is at a grocery store near you. When the glass breaks, it means you get the absolute latest on Rocky Top. VolQuest's Austin Price joining us Tuesdays at 8:20 here on the show. He's Ramon Foster. I'm Will Bowling. Austin, there is a lot to get to, as always, as Tennessee heads into bye week number 2. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you?
We're good. We have survived the James Franklin and Josh Heupel comparisons and have gotten to a better place this morning. Austin, what was most disappointing to you about the way that this game went Saturday and the way Tennessee fell to Oklahoma?
Just that when you looked at Tennessee, they, certainly appeared to be the better team. I mean, the first half, they outgained Oklahoma by 160 yards, and you just couldn't do anything with it. You had multiple opportunities. You could have been up 2 to 3 scores at half, and you were down 6. And little things, just the inability to do the little things has been the bugaboo for this team. The defense has been the weakest link for most of the year, but Saturday night, they were not. They were the team or the unit that kept you in the game. They played a game well enough for you to win, and you offensively just couldn't get it done. I don't know if it was just the lack of patience from Joey and Heupel on offense with those deep shots when they were giving you that 3 high safety look. I don't know the exact cause offensively for some of the mistakes, but it just the turnovers, obviously the scoop and score, and that just kind of changed the momentum of the game. Ramon, it was tough because you had a chance to go there up 10-0 or potentially 14-0. You got down to about the 25-yard line. Instead, next thing you know, all the momentum was back with Oklahoma. It's 7-7, and it was a dogfight from there, and Tennessee just wasn't able to pull it out.
Austin, it felt like in a lot of ways, Joey Aguilar kind of became what a lot of us feared he might be all season at a really bad time against Oklahoma. Just how surprised were you at some of the decisions that he made? I know Josh Heupel said postgame that there were even some runs where they're making the wrong decision in some of the RPOs that should be handed off or he should be keeping around the end. Just how surprising was that to you, the way Joey played?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a bit surprising because to this point, we're 9 games in, and I'm not going to say he's been perfect, but I mean, for the whole, he has not put the ball in harm's way the way everybody described at Appalachian State, and he performed pretty admirably. Saturday, the 2 throws that got picked were just bad throws, bad decisions. What are you seeing there? There's no way functionally you should have thrown either ball. Now, I would also tell you, you go to the opening drive of the second half, you get a stop. He threw 2 balls there that easily could have been picked before, Staley caught the pass and the 2 defenders collided and he ran down the sidelines for the touchdown. So, there were other opportunities for interceptions to happen in that football game. The fumble, listen, that was a missed block. He got just lit up, and that happens. But the interceptions were bad. I described it as like, playing an 18-hole round of golf, and you par a birdie 16 holes, and then those other 2 you make it in the water and you make triple. That's basically what those 2 throws were Saturday for him. It was rough.
No doubt about it. We're joined with Austin Price of VolQuest on 3 this morning. Austin, when you mentioned the sack fumble on David Sanders, I viewed that and just having run that type of play before, he's supposed to slam inside, hinge outside to pick up the DN. What's his conversation been and the coach's explanation of what happened on that play? Because the rusher was free and clear. Is this a result of David being young, miscommunication with the offense moving as fast as it did, or that was just a solo job by him? How do you view that one, and what was the explanation?
Well, it certainly looks like that it was on David, right? That's the one thing you never really know is what the assignment is on every play. Now, you may know a little more just because you've played in a similar, scheme or whatever along the years. But, a lot of times, I'll never forget the West Virginia game. Everybody blamed the earshot that JG took to start the game on Brandon Kennedy. When in reality, it was the guard did the wrong assignment. So, again, I never heard post-game. I was out with recruits, trying to interview, recruits that were in town. So I never heard them describe what happened on that given play. Again, it certainly looked like it was David Sanders' fault, but I don't know for a fact.
No doubt. Austin, when you look at the state of what college football is right now, 3 losses, it's hard to get into the CFP. Questions about goals and just understanding of, hey, what ceiling is yours? There's been a big conversation on social media about that and just comparisons, as Will opened up this interview with you about it. In today's world, Austin, you can be as brutally honest as you want to. What's a good coach? What's good standards to have in this new NIL transfer portal payment plan of what college sports are now? Is 3 losses, cause for being fired? Like, what constitutes a level of health for a program and for coaches?
I think the expectation in this current landscape, and especially when they go 16 teams, should be the CFP. I would also tell you that this is more like the NFL than it's ever been, and you're going to have years that you just, you quote it, you don't make the playoffs. You played in the NFL for over a decade, Ramon. I mean, every year somebody kind of rises up, and when somebody rises up, when there's parity, then somebody's going to take a little bit of a notch down. Now, I would tell you, I'm going to let the last 3 games play out. If you go 9-3, you don't make the CFP. Before the season started, everybody predicted you to go 9-3 and not make the CFP. And if you go 9-3 and you don't make and you're not in the college football playoff, I think the fans are frustrated because the 2 games, the Georgia game, you had them and you let them off the hook. And then Oklahoma, you certainly look like the better team, and you found a way to lose that game at home. So that it's how it played out is going to be the frustration. Now, if you don't win out and you're sitting there at 8-4, 7-5, then obviously that's a struggle bus. I'm not one that thinks anybody that thinks Josh Heupel needs to be fired needs to grow up. Like you better come to terms with this is a lot more like the NFL now than it ever has been. You look at Georgia. They're sitting there at 1 loss. They found ways to win games. They easily could have 4. Yeah. Easily could have 4. They found ways as a more experienced team to win the football game. It doesn't matter how it looked. It didn't matter. They just won, okay? And I think that's the biggest thing. It doesn't matter about style points like it did when there was the old BCS era and your computer models and all that stuff. You just win. It doesn't matter like how you win. Just win. Look at Texas. Texas is at 2 losses right now. They could easily have 4, maybe even 5, but definitely 4 because they went to overtime twice in back-to-back weeks against 2 of the bottom feeders in the league, Mississippi State and Kentucky. Same Mississippi State team that took Tennessee to overtime. So, Mississippi State's maybe just not that bad. They just can't get over the hump. So, a lot of parity. And I think the biggest thing for me is you just have to take it year by year. You just don't want to free fall. Like I said, when somebody comes up, somebody is going to have to come down a little bit. You just don't want to be the team that free falls. Coming down a little bit is okay. You just can't free fall.
Austin Price of AllQuest and On3, our guest this morning on Ramon and Will. Austin, remember we were talking in the offseason about how Tennessee made a little bit of a philosophical shift this year. Let's play young, talented high school recruits that we believe in and not go replace them with somebody else's high school recruits and transfers just for the sake of getting transfers. What are some of the controllable things you feel like this program could have done this past offseason to still have playoff expectations, Austin? Or was this just always going to be a reset year considering how much this team lost last season?
Yeah, I don't know about reset year. The receiver, you would have said receiver before the start of the season because, I mean, how many people this past offseason said, I mean, they should have went to the portal. I mean, it's inexcusable. It's malpractice, all these things. And the receivers have been great. I just think, it's one of those things where, maybe they could have gotten more help at safety. Maybe they could have gotten more help at defensive tackle. Everywhere else, I think Tennessee's been fine. Obviously, the change of quarterbacks was not ideal, but I mean, listen, Joey's performed well, and for the most part, on the whole, and has given this offense definitely a shot in the arm compared to where it was a year ago, scoring points and those type of things. So, I think just you get back to parity. You've got to find a way to win close games. You had two teams right where you wanted them, especially Georgia in the second half late. You let them off the hook. You had a chance to step on their neck, and then you settled for the field goal and went up 8, and they went down and forced overtime, and you lost. And then Oklahoma, you dominated the first half, could have been up 2 to 3 scores, and you were down 6. So you look at those two games, and that's how it shapes the season. If you find a way to win those games, we're not having the discussions we're having right now, and the message boards and Twitter and all that aren't what it is. So, again, it's a fine line. You got to find ways to win those games, and you got to find ways to win out. Again, 7-5 not good, inexcusable. 8-4 wouldn't be ideal. And 9-3, I think, again, people would be frustrated with how they lost those two games, but 9-3 and going to a Florida Bowl is something the team should aspire to be because, walking around here in shorts for bowl practice sure beats walking around in sweats and no offense to you guys, Nashville, Memphis, or Charlotte.
Fair. Very fair. Austin, on the recruiting front with elite running back out of Baylor and Chattanooga, David Gabriel George, I know there are a lot of high school football fans that have watched that guy play in both Nashville and at East Tennessee and thought, if there's a better running back than that guy in the class of 2027, I'd love to see him because the guy looks like an absolute machine. I know he is someone that has certainly had a lot of interest in Tennessee as we look ahead a little bit and as the 27 class starts to take shape, just because, Austin, this is a local prospect so many people listening to us have heard of. Where is Tennessee at with him at this point, and who else is in the mix?
Well, it's Ohio State and Georgia are the other two teams. Tennessee is, to me, the team to beat right now. They have the most momentum as we head off into the playoff, high school playoffs. Don't think he'll take another visit this year. I think there's likelihood is he's done. His family was in Knoxville back-to-back trips for Arkansas and for Oklahoma, including his aunt and uncle this past trip, so extended family. Again, Tennessee's got a lot of momentum there. They'll just have to keep the momentum because that thing will drag into next year like 90% of the recruitments will. And so you're just going to have to keep the momentum up. But currently right now they have a lot of momentum. And having Gabe Osenda, having Jamin Theodore, two of his teammates committed here, coming here, that's huge for Tennessee because he is very relationship-based and he's very tight with those kids.
All right. Makes sense then. Also, this bye week, what's the goal of it? Health, I'm guessing, more than anything, or what, reviewing this team coming out of the second bye?
Well, I think you want to continue to get healthy. In a perfect world, you would get Jermon McCoy back. The question is how incentivized is he to come back now that Tennessee seemingly is out of the CFP race, right? I mean, maybe he needs the 3 games to put on tape for NFL teams. Maybe he doesn't. I think a lot of that depends on that, whether he plays. He's done more around this team the last week than he had done up to this point, which was kind of the next step in the progression. It certainly felt like he was poised to return before the game. Has that changed with the loss? Obviously, that would be a nice jolt to the defense, to the secondary, going to the Swamp, playing Vanderbilt at home. Other than that, it's just find ways to win games, Ramon, and by any means necessary. I think you have to be cognizant of some young guys that if New Mexico State's going to be big, it'll be their last real opportunity to get some real run. I mean, they might play spot duty in those last 2 games, but I mean, if you can get in the Desan Brames and the DeJuan Morrises and those type players early against New Mexico State, I would do it. Get them feeling good about the end of the year heading into 2026. So I think the next 2 weeks are pivotal as they try to keep this team together, knowing that the CFP is not an option. And again, where do these kids want to go bowling? Where are they motivated to go bowling over these next 3 games? I think that will drive what this team is or does.
Speaking of secondary, Austin Price. 0, if I'm not mistaken, snaps for Boo Carter. Punt return, hits him in the face, fumbles it, got it back. What's the deal? And just quite frankly, if the portal was open right now, would he be in? That's kind of where I just want to go with it.
If he's not going to play defense, he sure wouldn't be my punt returner.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at with it. If he don't play a snap on D, what behooves you to put him back there for punt return? If you feel like that he's checked out on defense, that you don't want him out there after he gave minimal effort and started to jog against Kentucky two weeks ago, why is he returning punts?
Right.
Either way, Boo Carter won't be here come January. So, again, if I'm Tennessee, if there's a kid on my roster that I don't think will be here in January that you think is checked out, whether that's him or someone else, I'm not wasting any reps in practice, in games, or anything like that on those kind of kids. You better use those reps on kids that you think and you want to be here. Exclamation point.
Well put.
Well put.
VolQuest's Austin Price, our guest, Tuesdays at 8:20. Austin, enjoy the bye week, and we will talk to you soon.
Thanks, Austin.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Sir.
Yes, sir. Austin Price of VolQuest and On3 with us.
I hope I didn't put Austin in a bad spot with that one, but
No, you didn't.
Austin's
Look, I mean, it's
on that conversation.
It's not a secret that Boo Carter's not going to be on Tennessee's 2026 football team.
Austin gave a very definitive answer on just exclamation point into the business of this. Like Austin said, at least in the NFL, there are repercussions for this. Like you can find somebody conduct detrimental to team. I don't know if the NIL era, the way these contracts are set up, to where you can slap somebody on the wrist and say that's $5,000. Now it's $10,000.
Right.
Now it's $40,000. Now the consequences of these type of situations, they don't happen as often in the NFL. Like I know you can reference Antonio Brown and be like, well, AB did it. Well, AB also lost millions in that situation.
Right. What's your consequence?
And that's just one of those situations. Like that's a CBA has to be in place.
The Boo Carter experience needs to end in Knoxville. Point blank.
Period.
Austin said it 100% right, and you asked a good question. It's a great question. Like, what's the point at this point? If you're not going to play defense, if you're going to get out there at punts and fumble again, what exactly do you do here? And again, if we really want to be treated like pro players, you willing to be fined like a pro player? I mean, y'all get fined for a lot of stuff that people don't realize. Like, if your jersey not being tucked in at practice, like,
it's $5,000
you can get fined
to throw a football in the stadium into the stands.
That's right. If we want to really be treated like pros, then let's have some adult conversations. Yeah, you're right. You want to do a little basketball minute coming up?
Man, I can't wait to do one.
Tennessee a winner, Auburn a winner. Bailey, you know who the real loser last night was though in Neville Arena? Nepotism. We'll talk about it next.
Did you know that up to 50% of the air you breathe in your home comes from your crawl space. Have you ever looked in your crawl space? I get it. Most of us don't even want to know what's in there, but moisture in your crawl space can create unhealthy issues that can make their way into the air you breathe every day in your home. This is Ramon Foster. This is where United Structural Systems can help you. USS has been keeping homes dry and stable in Middle Tennessee since 1994, so you know they aren't going anywhere. Help control moisture and musty smells with mold treatment and crawl space encapsulation that comes with the USS guarantee. Encapsulation, it helps reduce high humidity in your crawl space. It also helps deter mold and mildew and protects your crawl space from pests and wood rot. So go ahead and turn your crawl space into a healthy space. Reach out to the company I trust for all foundation repair and your waterproofing needs, and that's United Structural Systems. You can go to their website at USSTN.com. That's USSTN.com, or call them 615-488-7855, United Structural Systems.
Wrapping up hour 3 on Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee. College hoops back last night. And thank God that Ron Slay's slip was not a full fall on the SEC Network last night.
He was on his good knee. That was crazy.
The Ron Slay, where you could see Alyssa Lang's great video of him running to get a headband and nearly eating it. We're grateful he did not eat it.
Did not eat it.
Last night, Tennessee wins against Mercer, 76-61. The first of 5 ramp-up games for a Tennessee team that is replacing a lot of production and 4 starters from last season. Rick Barnes will not like a lot of what his offense looked like. I believe it was 19 turnovers in this game.
It was.
Sloppy. From Tennessee, but got the job done, and that's just going to be the name of the game in non-conference. They have got a lot to sort through, a lot of rotations they got to get down, Ramon, and it's weird seeing Tennessee play without a number 5 Ziegler on the court.
It's kind of crazy, isn't it? Like passing of the guard right now. But I will say this though, our guy Ron Slay Savage has been loud about Jacoby Gillespie though too.
I have too.
Yeah, man.
For sure.
He seems to be the point guard that you're going to need. A little bit more size, a little bit more aggressiveness, know how to facilitate a little bit more, man. I ain't going to say a little bit more because Zakai, I will never disparage Zakai at all. But it's interesting listening to these guys speak, though, about the bigs on this team and how J.P. Estrella knew that Dwayne Brown was going to be a guy that played and was going to get a lot of burn.
Yes.
Like, Rick Barnes, I don't know when he's ever satisfied with anything.
Right.
But, like, watching the way he somewhat set this team up, it seems to be in the favor of a team that he'd like to have, even though it's not in its version of it right now.
I agree. I think Tennessee's front court depth is just night and day different than it was last year. Dwayne Brown is impressive.
Yeah, man.
Woo. Kid can play. Freshman out of Hoover, Alabama. Looked pretty good last night. Dwayne Brown with 6 points, made all 3 of his shots, 5 rebounds as well. Dwayne Brown was one of 3 Tennessee players with a plus-minus in the double digits. Tennessee was plus 13 with Dwayne Brown on the court. And when you only play 15 minutes and you're plus 13, you're going to keep playing a lot more than just 15 minutes. But Tennessee can go Jalen Carey, Felix Okpara, J.P. Estrella, Cade Phillips, and Dwayne Brown. Tennessee had 2 players in that position last season. They have 5 that they feel confident about putting in right now. That is a significant difference, and it just raises the floor. I mean, if you miss jump shots at any given night, you've got guys that can clean up those misses, and they are going to rebound with some of the best teams in college basketball if they continue to stay out of foul trouble and have those 5 guys stay healthy.
And Jalen Carey is what you want also. He reminds me a good bit of what, old school basketball was, being able to be physical at the rim. He don't play above it all the time, but his dirty work mentality, man, I think is going to be a huge advantage for this Vols basketball team. And I don't know if they had it like this. Like Okpara, look at him a little bit last year, like he getting moving around a little bit too much. You knew my guy, Cade Phillips, didn't have the physicality, although he had the athleticism and ability to play above the rim. But now you got Estrella back. You got young fella Dwayne Brown. You got also Jalen Carey. Like, we ain't even talking about the guards yet. And you ain't even mentioned Nate Ament.
Nate Ament last night was solid. He's just got so much room to grow. Had 18 and 9. Did have 3 turnovers. His plus minus was 0. That's the thing for Nate Ament, is that his impact on the game, maybe not as significant as what the stats would suggest. It's just going to take time. It's really just going to take time. This is a brand new team, 4 new starters. I don't think they will look anything close to what they look like now by the time conference play rolls around, and definitely not by the time March rolls around. But yeah, he shows you flashes of brilliance, of being able to glide and make things that are not very easy look very easy.
And I'll say this too before you go further, except for the one team you're going to mention with nepotism. Savage is already laid out. College basketball in general is just going to be a mosh pit. And the only reason 100%. I bring it up is because Florida, who's ranked number 3, lost to Arizona last night.
They did. Absolutely did. Vanderbilt with a big win last night, 105-61 at home against Lipscomb. It is incredible to me that Vanderbilt is picked 11th preseason in the SEC. And that is a tip of the cap to how good the SEC is. It's like Well, who are you going to move back? Well, I don't know. So, yeah, okay, maybe they should be 11th. But Vanderbilt will have NCAA tournament expectations once again. They started this game 12-0 and then went on a 19-2 run over a 5-minute span. They are deep once again. Mark Byington and that team, I think he is a fantastic head coach. We're going to see who steps up over the course of the season. Tyler Nickel being their sharpshooter last season. He had 6 threes on the way to 20 points last night. Tyler Tanner, a career-high 18. He's going to step up into a larger role. You know some teams were calling him with the season he had coming off the bench at point guard last season. 4 Vanderbilt players score 15-plus points for the first time since 2021. And the first time they crossed 100 points since last season's win over New Orleans, according to VUCommodores.com.
All right, man.
Solid start for them. Auburn, meanwhile, not off to a good start. Needed overtime to beat Bethune-Cookman 95-90 last night inside Neville Arena. The first game for Stephen Pearl, the new head coach. Did you see how this game went to overtime?
I did not see how it went to overtime.
Auburn was up 3 with 3 seconds left, and Bethune-Cookman took a half-court shot and got fouled with 0.5 left. They proceeded to make all 3 of their free throws to send this game into overtime. They fouled a half-court shot, Ramon.
No.
Fouled a half-court shot. It was Elijah Freeman to the Lincoln Memorial transfer that almost went to Tennessee.
Yeah. Tell me it was like the 3-point shot from half court was close.
No.
They just fouled him just because.
Not even close a little bit.
Big Bruce ain't there.
I mean, maybe they would have with Bruce there, but I don't know. But
you know they wouldn't have fouled him with Bruce, wasn't that? That's the separate. You're bringing that up because that's experience, Will.
Tough night for nepotism last night for Stephen Pearl. And I'm joking. I'm being unfair to Stephen, who will get the opportunity to follow in his dad's footsteps, and maybe he'll be very successful. I don't know, but. Woof. Not a good way to start a new regime.
I'm a Stephen fan. He was cool with me on campus. I'm rooting for him in the sense of his professionalism and also to beat the allegations of this is a Nepo job. Like, everybody wants to be successful in their, set careers. And this is a big moment for him. But going into overtime, Bethune-Cookman, nobody had that on the bingo card, which is why they said this is the reason this is the first game of the year.
Correct.
Did you see what he said post-game, referencing Hugh Freeze and Auburn football?
Who, Steve? What did he say?
Yeah.
I was not tuned into Stephen Pearl's post-game press conference, no.
I know Auburn fans are tired of being told to be patient, so we're going to get our asses to work.
Way to play it. Way to play it, Steve. He got his dad's charisma, that's for sure.
I mean, yeah, he inherited a championship roster. Hugh Freeze didn't, but fair. Fair. Appealing to his base, but fair.
Jokes is funny until they come back to bite you.
Coming up, NFL headlines this morning, plus our reaction to the Titans' Draymond Jones trade. If you're just waking up and just joining the show, we'll get to Jay on the phones. You can join us as well, 615-737-1045. Easton Freeze at 9:20 with 60 minutes to go on your Tuesday morning next.
It's Ramon Foster from Medical House Calls. The website is, as the name I just told you, medicalhousecalls.com, man. They're available to you 7 days a week. That's Monday through Sunday. The hours are 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. They have same-day appointments available to you and next-day guarantee. We're about to head into this fall cold and winter cold season, man, and y'all know how sicknesses can just run up on you. I'm here to tell you, you get ahead of that with the IV therapy that they are providing to you. They'll show up to your house and give you what you need, all right? From fighting the flu to performance-enhancing cocktails, their nurses will come to your door and administer IVs to help you feel better. Or simply put, if you just need a recovery from all the travel that you have going on or just partying, also there's hydration in those mobile IV therapy packs too, man. But they do everything for you, okay? They'll show up to your house. They have in-home labs that are available to you. For a flat fee, you can get your evaluation, full exam, treatment plan, and prescriptions if you need it. And this is just a concierge for you. If you just don't want to go to ER rooms or urgent care, go to medicalhousecalls.com, man. You can call or text them also to set up an appointment at 615-838-2375. Medical House Calls. Make sure you tell them that Ramon sent you.
Just before 9:02, good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Titans have traded edge rusher Draymond Jones to the Raven for a conditional 2026 fifth-round draft pick that could turn into a fourth-round pick this next year. The fifth-round pick would be from the Jets, but if it is a fourth-round pick, it would come from the Ravens. The NFL trade deadline is today at 3 p.m. Central. Speaking of trades and the deadline, the Cowboys have finalized a trade for Bengals middle linebacker Logan Wilson in exchange for a 2026 seventh-round draft pick, per multiple reports. Wilson has 2 years left on a 4-year, $36 million extension that he signed back in 2023. Week 9 of the NFL season wrapped up last night with the Cardinals beating the Cowboys 27-17 and ending a 5-game losing streak. Quarterback Jacoby Brissett, in place of Kyler Murray, threw for 261 yards, 2 touchdowns, and also rushed for a score as well. Marvin Harrison Jr. caught 7 passes for 96 yards and a touchdown in the win. And tonight's for the Nashville Predators, after losing to the Vancouver Canucks last night at Bridgestone Arena 5-4 in overtime, are back on the ice tonight in Minnesota, facing off against the Wild with puck drop at 7 o'clock. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go, off and running into the final hour of Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee. Scooters can fuel you too, you know. Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. They're going to make it so easy that you don't have to leave that much earlier than what you were going to do to get to work on time in order to scoot on down and get a flavored coffee, a latte, a blended coffee. Maybe you want to feel a little bit cooler. Cooler. That's right. Good job, Will. I forgot how to English there for a minute. You want to feel a bit colder? You can do that. Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. Easton Freeze of A to Z Sports joins us in 15 minutes. Is anyone else for the Titans going to get traded? We'll ask him and see what the answer is. Ramon, do you think the Titans make another move today as they make the Draymond Jones move official just minutes ago?
I personally don't think so. I just think now you've exhausted all that others want more than anything. If it's another defensive piece, and I think that's probably your strongest suit. I want to say Chig, but I do think you can ruin Cam by not giving him an outlet. Like Gunnar Helm is one thing, but like who's another one that you got? You know what I'm saying? Like it's that part of it too. When you got 2 rookies wide receivers that are leading the charge right now, and Van Jefferson, like that's a tough spot to be in. Is all of us a tough spot to be in. Now, didn't they just sign somebody else to practice squad too on this team? So
yeah, Aaron Wilson put out. I mean, they're going to continue churning at the bottom of the roster. Aaron Wilson had a new name for us, a fun name, as I efforted it.
Yes, all good.
Who is joining the Tennessee Titans? That is Keedrain Callaghan.
Keedrain Callaghan.
Former Texans, Seahawks, and Colts corner.
Keedrain Callaghan.
After a successful workout today, Agent Marshall Rosenbach tells Aaron Wilson.
Well, shout out to Marshall for getting this guy a job. Was he on somebody else's roster or he was on the street?
I'll be honest, I am not an expert on Keedrain Callaghan.
No, he's probably on the street if he wasn't signed from somebody else's practice squad.
He was released by the Indianapolis Colts on October 14th.
Okay.
From the practice
squad. He was chilling. I say no, Will. I think they're done. I don't think there's any other trade going now. I'm excited to be wrong because there's more content for us. And if I'm not mistaken, so I think Easton is going to help us to I think Borgonzi speaks this afternoon.
Tomorrow.
10
a.m.
Okay. 10 a.m.?
Mm-hmm.
Why do they always do this stuff when we get off air?
Congratulations to Buck Rising.
I want a freebie, too.
We already have the most time to go to work and do a show.
Don't get me started on the morning crew.
I'm trying to get you started.
I know you're trying to get me started.
Jay is in Spring Hill, 615-737-1045. Good morning, Jay.
Hey, good morning, team. Hey, I did have a Titans trade question, but first I was going to comment with Slade joining y'all last Friday. Whenever he's on y'all's show, you ought to rename your show just for that day, the 3 Live Crew. Y'all were rocking it. I mean, y'all brought lots of energy. So
that's the way it goes.
Anyway,
appreciate
just
that.
throwing that out there. trade question. Being the only NFL team with an interim head coach, is it prime time for trades? Is it dormant time for trades? And if we got one going, but are trades to survive the season in mid-season trades, or is this building for 2026?
Thank you, Jay.
Great.
Building for 2026.
Yeah, that's what this one is.
No doubt.
There's
Building for
two
26,
types.
27, and beyond.
When you say it's two types, it's building for the next year, and the other one is building for the playoff run.
Yeah, for sure.
Philly is stacking right now.
Mm-hmm. Philly, Baltimore, San Francisco, teams like that are trying to stack additional talent in weak spots.
What does Dallas's move do? Continue sustainability at linebacker, I guess, is where theirs is.
Don't ask me to get in Jerry Jones's head. There's a lot of empty Whataburger wrappers in here, and I don't like it. I don't like being in here.
Get out of there.
I can't. I don't like being in Jerry's head.
Yeah, I hate this team.
There's a lot of acting knowledge in here, but other than that.
Yeah. So there's usually two types. Is if you think you got a shot on pushing for Super Bowl, you start making those type of trades. Baltimore's favored right now as the winner of the AFC North. So they're trying to go get more defensive players. Philly's doing the exact same thing. They're stacking veteran guys because they feel like this is what they need to push themselves to a Super Bowl. You sell out or you sell off, and that's what the Titans are doing right now for next year.
If it were up to you and you had the offers that we talked about earlier in the show, hit the Zone podcast if you missed it. Ramona will subscribe wherever you download podcasts. We did a deal of deal or no deal with Ramona where we gave offers, and let's say you have your asking price for whoever you most want to trade, Ramona. Who is the player you feel like you would be most eager to trade in order to get the compensation that you want back?
The four that you gave me earlier, I think it would be Calvin.
Calvin Ridley?
Calvin Ridley, yeah. Calvin Ridley would probably be the most obvious one. Chig doesn't satisfy a whole lot for me as far as value.
You're probably going to have to do a swap if you trade Chig.
Yeah. Tavondre Sweat is a guy I look at and say, I can deal with him. I'll work with it. If somebody gives me a solid 4 for him, yeah, I'm trading it out.
Sure.
But Calvin's the one where I can remove myself from the contract next year, the decision of making an offseason change. We're done right now.
Yep.
And I get a 4th, how you presented it can turn into a 3, maybe. And it's probably going to be hard to get a conditional 3 out of it. But Calvin's my answer.
If you could get a 4th-round pick for Calvin Ridley, I'd do it.
Right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right now.
I think Chig is the most likely to be traded because I'm just, again, eyeballing Green Bay. And the situation there with Tucker Kraft going down with a season-ending injury, there is an immediate need of someone who can most likely overpay on the trade market for what you feel like Chig Okonkwo's value is. And I feel like they are moving away from him and moving towards Gunnar Helm. It just feels like there is a more ready replacement for him already in-house, that you're not creating any additional needs because you've already kind of got that role filled long-term in Gunnar Helm. Thinking about this draft class, Ramon, and just thinking about those 3 big pass catchers that we've talked a lot about this season, Chimere Dike, Gunnar Helm, and Elikai Manor.
Yeah.
To Jay's question and to the point about, well, why are you just getting all this low-level draft capital? That draft capital is what allowed you to pick Gunnar Helm, Elikai Manor, and Chimere Dike.
This is true.
You turned day 3 draft picks into legitimate contributors who are helping you right away. That's why you make moves like this. That's why you trade Draymond Jones to get back a 5th that could turn into a 4th, which just became official a matter of minutes ago. Tennessee Titans have officially announced it. Draymond Jones is officially a Baltimore Raven. Wow. There you go. We'll see. I would be a little surprised, but not shocked if they made another move today. And I think if you had to guess who that is going to be, it would be Chig Okonkwo or Calvin Ridley. It's the injury thing for Ridley is, I think, what's keeping him from being moved.
Right.
I think the hamstring is a hard thing for contenders to deal with. Like, hey, if I'm giving up legitimate draft capital for a guy that just came off a 1,000-yard season, he better be healthy. And he's not been since Vegas. And those things happen. It's no fault of Calvin's, no fault of the teams, but it's just the reality of it. I think that conversation would be a lot hotter if that hamstring injury wasn't a thing.
Was Rashee Rice drafted to Kansas City out of college?
Yes.
He was.
They drafted Rashee Rice out of SMU, I believe, right?
SMU. I'm looking at just their guys that they have. They're later first rounders. So I'm just trying to think what's the makeup of a team's and his skill players. Kelsey's a third round pick. I don't think anybody knew he was going to turn into this.
He exploded. Right?
Patrick unlocked this is kind of what you say. I say Alex Smith helped a little bit.
Sure.
But I'm looking at Rashee Rice. Solid, not what you want him to be. Xavier Worthy.
Rashee Rice?
Oh, well, Rashee, yeah. Been solid throughout his entire career.
Has been pretty good when he's been on the field. I mean, he had 938 yards as a rookie.
Okay.
First 25.
Okay. All right,
he's a second-round pick out of SMU.
Yeah. So he checked the box there. Xavier Worthy, first-round draft pick, 28th overall.
I don't think he's lived up to a first-round billing, no.
And then you're looking at a guy, Hollywood Brown, who's drafted somewhere else that you got in free agency. I think it's still on a prove-it deal for himself also.
Yep.
25th overall selection, I think, for Baltimore at the time, too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm just looking at the makeup of teams. Like, it's a matter of matching talent up with an offensive coordinator and finding the quarterback that can make them happen, too.
Yeah.
And the only reason I wanted to look at their skill set, because they're usually the belle of the ball when you look at the makeup of this team.
Well, and it's where Borganzi came from.
I guess a more comparable team would probably be the Bills for what the Titans got going on.
In terms of weapon by committee.
And having a quarterback elevate those weapons.
Right. Like Keon Coleman.
Yes.
And, I mean, the tight ends were a big part of it on Sunday in beating the Chiefs. Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid had some big plays in that game.
And, like free agency, Josh Palmer, third-round pick.
Here's the thing, though. You don't have that quarterback.
You don't yet.
You
but
hope
that's the
that
hope.
Cam Ward turns into a kind of quarterback that allows you to save money at receiver and invest those resources you're saving by not paying receivers elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But until then, you're going to have to spend legitimate draft capital and free agency money on receivers to elevate your young quarterback who Ramon's not playing very well right now.
That's true.
He needs help. Cam needs more help.
Elevation that he has to provide those guys. I'm sorry to say, like Cam lovers, Cam also has to do that part too.
Yeah, he's got to play better. There are things that Cam can control right now that he needs to control better for this team to have some success. Two things can be true. He can have not enough help and need a legitimate number one receiver and a better offensive line in order to be more successful. And he can also be more accurate when he's got layups to be laid in because he had Van Jefferson wide open on 3rd and 16 and just missed him. He's had moments where he's held the ball too long and put his offensive line in a bad position. He has not been faultless in this season. Easton Freeze of A to Z Sports talks NFL trade deadline and Titans headlines with us next. Tuesday morning, an NFL trade deadline day. Ramon and Will rolls on, fueled by Scooter's Coffee. He is Ramon Foster. I'm Will Bowling. And joining us to break it all down from the Titans' perspective on what has happened, what could still happen, he is Easton Freeze of A to Z Sports, joining us via the power of Zoom. Easton, good morning. How are you, sir?
Morning, Easton.
Howdy, fellas. How we doing?
We are good. We are still waiting for, the big move of the morning. Nothing crazy happening yet. The Draymond Jones move is official, though. What was your initial reaction seeing that last night?
Yeah, not surprised that they moved one of the edge guys. Wasn't sure which it would be. Talking about that the past couple weeks. It's probably going to be Arden Key or Draymond Jones or Jihad Ward. And I guess it just depends on who comes calling and what they want, because each is kind of a different archetype of guy. I think Draymond definitely had made himself the most attractive of the three the past couple weeks and putting some really nice counting stats together, hitting his stride. The fact that they got a full additional pick for him was a surprise to me. I kind of was expecting any trade they make to be another pick swap of some kind. And so it's good that they've added a swing. We know that they want more swings, and a conditional fifth is certainly nothing to sniff at for a guy that was a rental mercenary for you in the first place. So I think it's good business on Mike Borgonzi, and I'm glad that they got an actual pick out of it.
Easton Freeze, A to Z Sports with us. So, Easton, anytime Teron Davenport's going to report anything, I'm going to believe it, first and foremost. So when he says that the Titans are not shopping Calvin Ridley, I believe that. I also believe that when Mike Florio tries to put out there that they are listening or maybe trying to trade him, the answer is probably has truth on both sides, right? That they're probably having a conversation when the phone is picked up and is dialed to them. But maybe they're not actively shopping him in the way that Mike Florio contextualized. What is your understanding of Calvin Ridley standing within this team? And do you agree that the answer might be somewhere in between those and that maybe both reporters are saying some of the right things?
That's my understanding, is that they certainly are listening. I mean, they're listening on all of the calls that they're getting. And I don't think that there's an unwillingness to move Calvin Ridley, but I think Teron kind of emphasizing that, hey, just because this Florio report exists, they aren't actively shopping. Like, they're not desperately trying to offload Calvin for whatever the best price is. Maybe akin to the way that they shopped one of the cornerbacks that they've moved so far, for example, where they were looking for the best offer and then planning on taking the best offer. I don't think that they would be upset by ending up keeping Calvin the rest of the year by any means. But I do think that there's some interest. There's always going to be interest for that position. Contender is always looking to add somebody at the receiving position this time of year who can maybe get them over the top, be a complimentary piece, knows what they're doing as a veteran. The complicating factor here, obviously, is that he's hurt. I'd feel way better about talking about this if we knew his timetable to return. And it's always concerning when you see a receiver on the wrong side of 30 years old with the hamstring injuries. Those don't tend to get better. So I just don't know what his value would be. We saw DeAndre Hopkins this time last year traded for a conditional fifth, very similar trade to what Draymond Jones was just moved for. Kind of the same ballpark is where my head is at. I think that if he wasn't hurt, Ridley would probably demand more than what Hopkins got in a trade, but because he is, probably in that same range, and I just don't know if any team is willing to do that. I also don't know what the team's willingness is to remove Calvin from Cam, because that's everything they do right now, right? Is the question boils down to, is this or is this not in service of Cam Ward? What's the opportunity cost of not letting Cam Ward have this guy on his team for the next 8 games? Now, we've seen what it looks like without Calvin for a couple of games now, and it's good opportunity for the young guys. But are you comfortable with that for the rest of the year? I can't answer that. Mike Borgonzi would have to.
Joined by Easton Freeze of A to Z Sports right now, talking trades. Easton, do you get the feeling that this team is somewhat just eager to be in the trade market too? And I know it has to be two sides of this, but every call has been taken and every scenario is seriously considered, or is just some of it's just off the board for how Borgonzi is going to have to operate moving forward? I mean, there's still 8 games left.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that they're eager. All of the reporting that I've done on this the past couple of weeks has emphasized that I do not think this is a fire sale situation. I still think that's the case. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there is no move today from them. I'm not saying that that's not based on any background. I'm not winking and nodding. I don't know. But they've made 3 moves. They've made the moves that I think were the most obvious to make, the most likely to make. And while I wouldn't be shocked by another move or two today, I also wouldn't be shocked by nothing, because to your point, Ramon, they do have to field a team for the next 8 games, and they have to give Cam Ward an environment that is hopefully, so far it's not really been this way, but hopefully something that he can work with, right? So you have to balance that, and that's why I don't think that they will just be selling off everybody. But I still look at, Calvin Ridley and Chigakonkwo and Tony Pollard and Arden Key. Like, even though they've already moved one edge, I wouldn't be surprised if they moved another. Like, there are still some positions that wouldn't shock me if they moved him. I just don't know. I don't know what the buyer market is like right now, to be honest with you, because all the reporting this morning from a lot of the national guys are like kind of tempering expectations that maybe today won't be as explosive as we all hope it might be.
Easton, I know we don't have this answer, and we'll have to see this process over the next 2, 3, 4 years. If it makes it that far, it makes it that long. But
if we're all still here, right?
I know. But the question I'm about to ask you is this going to be the operation process for this team? Meaning the GMs can just say, hey, Denard, your best rusher gone. Hey, whoever the offensive coordinator, head coach is, hey, I'm taking this guy and finding value for him. What I'm getting at is there's a lot of, hurting that has to go to, well, I guess a lot of sympathy's got to be given to Denard Wilson, the position they've kind of put him in. Do you think this is the way they're going to work moving forward, is if we want a player gone, we're not going to ask any questions? Or will there be a partnership, you think?
Well, first of all, you're right to mention sympathies to Denard Wilson, who really, since he's gotten here, whether it's the football injury gods or the front office, all he has done is had useful pieces removed from him. Every time somebody starts to work out, it's like, oh, Ernest Jones working well for you, we're going to take that guy away. Quandre Diggs working well for you, that guy's gone. Hey, do you like these 2 starting cornerbacks you started the year with? We're going to trade those guys. And, oh, this guy's got 4.5 sacks in the last month. Not on your team anymore. So this guy is just, they're already asking him to draw blood from a stone all the time. And it's like God keeps choosing to give him his hardest battles and make the battles harder each and every week. I feel bad for the guy. I'd resign today if I were him. That being said, I don't think that this is going to be the relationship with the next coaching staff. I do think there's a lame duck element to this right now, and everybody kind of understands the situation. Is it fair to the coaches? Nope, but we're past the point of fair at this point. So I do think there's a clear divide in terms of power. Like, we know the power structure is Brinker, then Borgonzi, then the coaching staff, and with this next coaching staff, it will still be that way. Brinker and Borgonzi will be ahead of them, and Borgonzi is being empowered by Brinker to make the ultimate roster decisions. That part is true. That there's no conspiracy there. So it's going to always boil down to what Borgonzi ultimately decides to do with the roster. That being said, they're going to go and find somebody that Borgonzi wants to collaborate with and wants to be on the same page with. And assuming they get this roster into a more serviceable position, I don't think that they will be flippant with taking away players that the coaching staff wants to keep around, especially when we're in a place where the front office wants to keep the coaching staff around. That's not where we're at right now.
Issa Freeze of NSC Sports with us. You've heard of the book of Job, the book of Denard being written in real time here in Nashville.
That was good.
That's well
Easton,
said.
whether it happens today at the trade deadline, I know it's a very outside chance, or around draft time in the offseason, how surprised would you be if Tavondre Sweat is on another roster in 2026?
Not. Because your question leaves open the opportunity for them to move him now or to move him later, right? I do not think that they will move him today. I do think that they're fielding calls on it, and if they were to get some magical offer, they would probably consider it. But I also think that they haven't given it fully up on the player and his talent yet. You guys know that in the NFL, it's kind of like that graph where it's like crazy and hot, and it's like you can be the hotter you are, the crazier you can be.
Yes.
With players, it's talent. Like, the more talented you are, the more crazier we can put up with you being on our roster. And I'm not saying that Tavondre Sweat is crazy, but I am saying that he is somebody that I think his talent is always going to be the primary consideration, because he is such a talented player, when there may or may not be issues with dealing with the guy. He's that level of talent. So that's what I think the biggest hang up is, potentially moving him. That being said, this front office did not draft him. I get, again, don't shoot the messenger. I get the sense that that's kind of where they're at with him on this team right now, and they want to see him finish the year strong, maybe to kind of get back on the horse a little bit and maybe get back in their good graces, which so far he's done a fine job since coming back. He needs to continue to produce, and hopefully once Jeffrey Simmons gets back in there, that's a force multiplier for him. But if you made me guess whether or not he's here beyond his rookie contract, I would bet a significant amount of money on that not being the case, even though I am a big T'Vondre Sweat fan.
Easton Freeze of A2Z Sports, our guest. Easton, I enjoyed your column as well, talking about Robert Saleh as a legitimate head coaching candidate here. And it's interesting the way these processes go, right? Because you kind of have your initial 5 or 6 guys, and that initial hot board becomes a 2.0 and a 3.0. And like for me, I took Joe Brady off and put Robert Saleh on in terms of just processing what we're seeing, talking to people, and nobody inside the building, just talking to people around the league who have feelings on these things. I've said my piece on Robert Saleh, why I think he makes a lot of sense and why defensive-minded leader of men makes a lot of sense. Why is he a legitimate option for you? And maybe was he originally on your radar? Because I'll be honest, he was not originally on mine quite as much, but it kind of is now.
He was, just because I knew that he's one of the guys. Like, there has to be interest, right? Who are the guys that want jobs? And it was clear even last coaching hiring cycle, after he had been fired a matter of months before, that he's interested in getting back in. He was already taking head coaching interviews. So that's going to automatically get you on my short list. And he is somebody that, with the timing of the Titans firing Callahan, and then Mike Silver at The Athletic puts out this big piece on Saleh where he went to San Francisco, talked to the players and the coaches around him, and kind of did that whole thing, which is worth reading at The Athletic. There's just too much smoke on him wanting back in, which is important, because even though the Titans, as they say, it's one of 32 jobs, so there's going to be a baseline of attractiveness. I feel pretty good in saying that the Titans' job is probably going to be the least attractive of the 4 or 5 or 6 openings that there are this year. So are you going to get the best option on the market? I kind of doubt it. So you need a guy that wants the job and is willing to be optimistic about the situation. Because some might say a blank slate, and then some might say a blank slate. Hey, I can work with that. Like, I get to mold this in my image. So you need somebody that wants to do that. You need somebody that wants back in. I think that the prerequisite for this hiring search is going to be experience. Like, everyone's always wondering, what's the pivot going to be? Are you going to go from offense to defense? Are you going to go from young to old, or jerk to a nice guy? I think that this one is just going to be going from a guy, Brian Callahan, who had never been a head coach and had never called plays, to a guy who has done at least one of those things, or ideally both. And Robert Saleh has done both. He has been a play calling coordinator for over half a decade, and he has been a head coach for multiple years. And his head coaching candidacy looks a whole lot better in hindsight, to be honest with you. He's a defensive head coach. That defense was nails when he was there. It quickly fell apart once he left, and nothing about the team has been any better since he's left. Turns out the Jets are just still the Jets. So the leader of men thing is maybe the biggest element that I've buried the lead on here. They need somebody that's a culture builder, somebody that is going to get a locker room to buy into what they're selling. And when you read some of those quotes from the players in San Francisco in that Athletic article, George Kittle's saying that he was the best offseason acquisition that the team made. They love the guy. He gets the young guys ready to go. He gets buy-in from the veterans. I don't know what else you're looking for. I think that he's somebody that is going to bring that leader of men element to a team that is really a blank slate in terms of culture right now. They need somebody to set the standard, and I think Robert Saleh would set a standard.
So, Easton, it's always 2 types of coaches in the league, and I think John Harbaugh is a different one because he's a special teams guy. But, like, the offensive coaches are usually like your uncle that allow you to just do your thing, and, hey, as long as we're winning, everything's fine and we're good. But yeah, they're unk. You know what I'm saying? You can go chill with them. And defensive coaches are dad that works 2 jobs. He's mad because he didn't get the big piece of chicken, and the kids are loud all the time. What I'm getting at is you mentioned experience being a part of it.
It's 7 a.m. on a Saturday. They say, I got a pile of mulch outside. Get out here.
Get up.
We're spreading, buddy.
So you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Which one do you pick for this team, especially if you don't want change and turnover for Cam at this coordinator position? Because I felt like they should have almost went defensive. where the state of the Titans were this last time because of the reset. How do you pick this time around, considering your biggest gem is Cam almost?
Yeah, they need dad, man. This franchise needs an active father figure in their life right now, badly. We've got daddy issues in Tennessee.
Okay,
you understand? So it's a no-brainer. I think that's a perfect way of putting it. They need dad in their lives right now. They are not in a position where they can be cool and fun and free enough to get away with. And all of that joking aside, like, then why would you ever hire an offensive guy in the first place? It's because you are hoping to get the benefit of not having to rotate coordinators, because we know how detrimental that can be to an offense. But I don't know. That just feels like a luxury that this team can't afford right now.
That makes sense.
It's fair.
It is.
Easton Freeze, our guest, A to Z Sports, does a great job covering the Titans, kind enough to give us a few minutes on a busy day. We'll see how busy it is, Easton, throughout the rest of the day. Appreciate the time.
Thanks, Easton.
Anytime, fellas.
Great analogy by you.
Easton Freeze joining us this morning talking Titans. That's kind of where I'm at. Nothing's going to shock me other than trading Jeffrey Simmons or a rookie or Cedric Gray or Cam. Obviously, it's not going to happen. I'm not expecting them. I'm not like waiting with bated breath for them to make a move today, but we'll see. Honestly, what I need to do is take a nap, and I'll wake up and something will have happened, because 2 firings have happened in the last 3 years when I've just taken a nap during the day, and I'm going to see Ernest at the Ryman tonight. So I am taking a nap today to rest up. So please factor that. Vegas, if you're listening and you've got odds on Titans players to be moved, factor in that I'm napping today. Okay.
Shout out to Ernest, too, by the way. It's just shout out him. He's a fan. He's
sure.
To us.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ernest.
He's called into this show
He
before.
has called into the show.
Ernest, if you're listening, I'll see you tonight, man. You do a great job.
A little hot. I ain't getting no tickets to it, too. I mean, I know I got a middle school football banquet tonight, but I'd leave there.
Now, that's a hot ticket. Middle school football banquet.
Ticket. We out here, too, man.
Is Garrett winning an award?
I love that we've just attached ourselves to this just middle school football player that we've never met before, never even seen the kid play. Ramon just uses him as an example of like, come on, Garrett, you're doing a good job. And I'm like, go off, Garrett.
Is Garrett getting the award? I can't say, because the banquet's tonight, man. I'll inform you tomorrow, man, if Garrett got an
I'll
award.
check ProFootballTalk.com to see what sources are saying about the middle school football banquet tonight.
I had to tell Garrett's older brother, Grady, that he's now referred to as Garrett Big Brother. He don't even got a name no more. And Gunnar, the little brother, is also Garrett's little brother. So Garrett's the centerpeace. Middle children,
okay,
we got a thing. I'm always look out for my middle kids.
Go off, Garrett.
Go off, Garrett. His granddad's, both of them so cool. They're gonna be so proud to hear this, man. Garrett, middle school banquets. But case in point, Daddy's coming home is essentially what happened with the Titans' next coach. That was a great way to kind of put that one.
We don't need Unk.
Well, Unk phase is done. I'm in my Unk era. I'm almost about to be 40, okay? You don't want me around, okay? Unless I'm your football coach, then I go to dad mode. Then I don't even have my kids call me dad out there. It's Coach Foster to you.
That's also a prerequisite for any callers that are going to call in and be like, hey, Ramon, you want to coach the O-line with the new head coach?
No.
What was the famous Magic Johnson quote? I ain't going to be here. Or in the famous words of philosopher Nick Saban, I'm not going to, so quit asking.
Quit asking.
Coming up, final call for phone calls, 615-737-1045. Let's do this. Brett McMurphy has a college football playoff projection out. We've got the first CFP rankings out tonight. Let's give you a little preview of if the playoffs started today, what would it look like? That's next.
Work. It's what we do. Part of who we are. There is joy in work. And no matter what size your business is, the dedicated commercial team at Two Rivers Ford will find the work trucks and vans that keep your business moving. And Two Rivers is the only dealer that offers a 90-day free fleet management program that can help you save money on every single mile. The Commercial Vehicle Center at Two Rivers Ford. We work for you.
Ramona Will, 104.5 The Zone, fueled by Scooters Coffee, wrapping up the show. We're getting gone in our last segment.
I'd vibe to this.
Within a legal context.
Who is this, Ramon?
Ernest.
This is Ernest and Snoop Dogg.
Attaboy.
Snoop is on the song.
Snoop Dogg. Snoop got a bar here. He might be there tonight.
Who's to say? That'd be crazy if I saw Snoop Dogg tonight.
I saw Snoop Dogg before my rookie year.
Did
Pittsburgh.
You? That's fun.
Sure did.
So, Albert Breer put this out a minute ago while we were talking to Easton. Just found it. At Albert Breer, SI.com, says that as teams look for edge help, the Titans have had a reasonable ask on edge rusher Arden Key. So, that could not be done.
Healthy is what I would call that.
Whomst is to say.
Yeah.
What would you get for Arden Key?
A 7.
Would you do a 7th for 6th pick swap?
7 for 6, yeah, absolutely.
You do just anything for Arden?
Yeah, at this point.
Okay.
I mean, I have a high respect for a guy like Arden Key, but I just think, it's not what he wanted it to be here in Nashville, Tennessee. You're going to always get what you want from him, and I think in the role that he's going to play for a contender, he's exactly what you need.
Solid secondary rotational edge rusher.
Chaotic.
Leader in the building, good guy to have around, vocal guy. Going to give you his best effort. Yeah, for sure.
All of that. And when he's out there, there's no questions about what he's capable of doing for you. It's just a matter of also, to your point, closing out sacks. And,
managing those expectations.
No doubt. Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Brett McMurphy has a college football playoff projection at on3.com. The 4 teams that he has getting buys in the college football playoff: Ohio State 1, Texas A&M 2, Indiana 3, Alabama 4.
Smart.
The first round matchups would be the following, Ramon. Georgia versus Memphis in the 5-12 matchup. Memphis would head to Athens.
Memphis, I know y'all feel it's just a different level to it.
The 8-9 matchup. So that winner would play Bama, by the way. Can you imagine Georgia, Bama in a quarterfinal game?
No. Be fair. Memphis, Bama.
Potentially. The 8-9 matchup, Oregon would go to Oxford to face Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss. The winner would play Ohio State. Oregon could mess around and get Ohio State in the second round of the playoff for the second straight year. How about that?
That'd be good.
The 7-10 matchup, your brother's Louisville Cardinals would host the Cougars of BYU. The Cougs would head to Louisville. The winner would face Texas A&M.
Wow.
Best of luck.
Okay. Yeah, good luck.
And the 6-11 matchup in this context would be Texas Tech hosting Notre Dame, with the matchup potentially for another rematch of last year's playoff second round between Indiana and Notre Dame.
It's so much on my radar. Well, with the jobs, there's so much sports out there in general. I still don't know what to make of Texas Tech. I ain't gonna lie to you and say I'm sitting down and watching their all-22, but I'm not. I don't know how good they actually are, other than the fact that the only storyline we hear about Texas Tech is the amount of bread they spend.
Well, you are going to get a good chance to watch them this weekend because you are off of doing a game, and they play BYU.
Okay, I'm going to check them out.
The first Big 12 matchup between top 10 teams, Ramon, since 2021. For Texas Tech, it is the first time they have been favored over a top 10 opponent since 2008 when Graham Harrell and Michael Crabtree were on the field. What's Graham Harrell doing now? Where's he coaching now? He's coaching somewhere.
You would think so, most definitely.
Graham Harrell is the associate head coach and co-OC at Abilene Christian. Scratch him.
Hey, now. I had a dude.
ACU.
I was a young rookie, man, with us. What was it? Big Travis, man. He was from Abilene Christian. I never even really paid attention to Abilene Christian at the time. Big body dude, just could not get it together.
Didn't they beat Texas in the NCAA tournament 2 years ago?
I feel like they did.
Or was that last year?
Yeah, I think the throwaways that Texas have as far as athletes and stuff like that,
yeah, right.
That's why Rice, is right in Dallas.
That was 4 years ago. What am I thinking?
Come on, man.
Well, at least I remembered it. Yeah, 53-52. ACU beat Texas in 2021.
And we got to come in our YouTube chat, and it's a fair question. It's a fair, I guess, statement. It was like Indiana has played who? Then he also says the playoffs is absurd. Louisville, Notre Dame, Memphis, this is the new way.
Indiana's played at Oregon and won. Indiana has beaten a legitimate opponent away from home in primetime.
Notre Dame has a golden ticket because of their non-conference situation, too. It comes down to rankings almost and who you beat. Like, yeah, I know what you mean, but, like, this is the other side of why I feel like we're so chaotic as a fan base. I mean, as fans now.
Well, and looking back, too, I mean, that A&M loss looks a lot better for Notre Dame now than it did when it happened.
Speak. You know what I'm saying? Like,
woof.
Yeah. This is also the part of.
Get it?
I heard you go.
You said speak.
And you went, woof.
Golly. Jeez, that's what I teach my dog.
You disturb me sometimes. No, I was preach. I should have said preach, my brother.
Speak. Would you like a treat?
What I'm getting, my point before I told Will to speak more was this is what the college football playoffs also provide.
Well, yeah, so the playoff provides it's what portal and NIL provide.
Well, yeah.
More than just the playoff structure.
There's a lot of beneficiaries of this.
Yeah, there are more places that have a seat at the table, and there are more programs that have people that are willing to invest and spend money. And 5-stars are more likely to leave Georgia, Alabama, and SEC programs when they don't play as freshmen and go to places like Indiana.
Roger, you're right, too.
Go to Louisville.
He said, but Vandy would run all 4 of them, and he's a Vol fan.
Vandy would not run Indiana. No. When are we going to respect Indiana?
When Buck rides
What do they have to do to earn respect? Do they just have to wear a different color uniform? Do they have to change the letter? We're not going to do Indiana erasure. They won in Autzen. They're putting teams in a blender.
Yeah.
Anyway, 6 a.m. tomorrow. Back at it tomorrow. We'll recap whatever happens at NFL trade deadline.
Man, by the way, shout out to my neighbor Mark, man. He's an Abilene Christian alum, man.
Scratch him.
But remember, the Twitter fingers of your mic is always hot.